So good morning to all of you. All of us have assembled here today with the basic objective of knowing from the success candidates of 2015 how to prepare for general studies. As you know, UPSC has made significant changes from 2013 onwards in general studies papers. So what is that secret that makes them successful? What you can do and what you should not do in your preparation for general studies. This is what the essence of our seminar today. What we will do is that first we will ask our successful candidates to share their experiences, what they have done, what are the mistakes they have committed, and how did they rectify those mistakes. And later, once once they speak, after that we can have a question answer session, free for all. You can ask any kind of questions, and they should be able to answer your doubts regarding the preparation for this examination. So without wasting any time, first let me introduce all of our successful candidates, starting with Shalini. She got 21st rank. Shalini, can you yes, can you please get up so that people yes, they can. Shalini, she got 21st rank. Last year she got into IPS, and this time she got 21st rank. And then we have Anupam, who got 81st rank this year. Anupam, he is already in IRTS. And then we have other successful candidates, starting with Vijay. He got into IAS this year. Vijay Meena, one of top scorers in GS this year. Then we have Qasim, who got into IPS this year. And we have Mrityunjay, who got into IRS IT. And then we also have Ninika. I always forget the name. Okay, she got into IRS Customs this year. And we will have one more person, Poonam, who will be coming now. She got into IRS IT. So let us try to listen to them and find out the secret of their success. Starting with Shalini, I request Shalini to come and address your concerns, problems, and everything. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Well, first of all, my heartfelt thanks to Pavan sir and Pavan IAS for inviting me here for this seminar. I've been associated with sir with public administration, and I also join ethics classes here. And as compared to last year, I've been able to improve my score in GS as well as in public administration by associating with Pavan Kumar sir. And as far as the preparation for the GS is concerned, I would say frankly that I did not have any particular strategy or plan to go about it. But before coming for the seminar today, I was thinking in what way I can contribute to you to your preparation. So I would say I just have to talk about 9-10 points, and then I'll sum up, and then later on we can go for the question answer session. If you go for the GS, you can divide it in two parts. Say what is your source of preparation, and then how you write in the mains exam. So first is your source of preparation, from where you are preparing, because it is very important to read the right kind of material, because the syllabus is so huge. So my key of preparation has been the newspapers basically, because now the kind of papers, the questions which are coming in the general studies, they are mostly revolving around the current affairs. So newspapers, they have to be the base, the key of your preparation. So you can, depending upon the time you have, you can go for one newspaper, Hindu, or you can go for Express also. And one newspaper you go thoroughly, and the other newspaper you can cover just the editorial part. So that is the the main source you will have, and then you can supplement it with the current affairs material which is available in the market or whatever you say. and the basic notes if you are attending any classes, or the basic books. Obviously, you all know what you have to prepare from. So, current affairs is the most important thing. Even if, like, you have seen from GS paper 1, you see that the particular question is from geography. Like the last year we had this question, the pollution in the 3 cities, why in Delhi. You see the topics are from geography or like say history, but the underlying theme again is current affairs only. You will have questions linked with the geography, but then they are related to air pollution, water scarcity. So all the burning issues which are happening in like the current developments, they are coming even in the GS paper 1. So like you cannot restrict yourself with what are the basic books only. You will have to relate that with what is happening around with the current affairs. So you can say that the preparation will have to be very smart. Like you say ki arts and culture is there. The syllabus is so huge, it is like the whatever amount you put in is going to be insufficient. So you'll have to be smart in a way that what topics you need to cover. Just cover like say architecture, literature, and just leave the rest of the portion, because it is not worth devoting that much time to just art and culture. So the preparation will have to be very smart in that sense, and it will have to be based entirely revolving around the current affairs only. And another thing is that people have this issue also whether we should prepare from like electronic material or we should go for the paper material. That again depends upon the individual, because in my case I mostly relied upon the paper material, and that I supplemented with the internet. You can go to internet for like searching about certain schemes or latest schemes or programs which the government has started. And what I used to do is like I used to read normal stuff, whatever I had to do in the entire day, and then whenever you like get bored, you can just surf the net to search for like some schemes or programs, or certain websites like say IDSA is there, PIB is there. You can like surf them, not very frequently, not every day, but like within 5-6 days once. So that is there. And now the when you see the syllabus, okay, paper 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. You will see ki, now the kind of questions which are there, you don't have to compartmentalize the the syllabus. You will have to integrate it. Like one particular topic, okay, it is under paper GS paper 3, but it is going to be relevant in GS paper 1 also. So don't see the syllabus as like separate under GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4, but like take the entire syllabus as just one. Something which is there in the ethics, something which is there in paper 2 can be utilized in other papers also. So like integrate it and then study it. Nothing is separate, everything is interrelated, integrated, and then you study it. Because any point which is there in just one topic, it can be utilized in other also. So that is there. And now what UPSC is doing, they are not checking the depth, how much you know about a particular topic. They are checking the range, how much you know little bit about everything. So just have 30-40 keywords ready about every topic, and then in exam you can expand it, you can write 100-200 words on that. And it is very important that, like Pavan sir also used to say again and again, that you need to enrich your answers with facts, with data. So it is just not just explaining the terms or just writing the theory, but it is important that you enrich it with examples, with facts also. So that was about the source, and now we can move on to how you are going to present, how you are going to write in the mains exam. It's a very small thing, simple thing, but it is very important that you have a, what you say, a legible handwriting. I mean, it's very important that whatever you are writing, the examiner understands it. So you need to have a legible handwriting with a good speed, so that you are able to complete the entire paper. First attempt I could not complete my entire paper in GS because that was the first year, 2013, when we had like 25 questions. So next attempt I thought that I'm not going to leave even a single question. I mean, definitely you are not going to know all the 20 questions with the same level of quality of the answers, but it's important that you, even if you are know 18, 19 questions decent, write them. But attempt all the questions. Do not leave even a single question. Write something, because it is 12.5 marks. So you are not writing anything, you are totally losing 12.5 marks. So write something, even in points, quickly just write anything it gets to your mind when time is less, especially for the last question, last 1 or 2 questions. And it's important that you hit the nail straight, be straightforward, and you, like, suppose there was this question. Sometimes people ask like whether we should write in bullet points or we should write in paragraphs. It actually depends upon the question, because you cannot have a single, a single pattern of writing the answers to all the answers. It depends upon the question. What is the demand of the question? If simple question is there, like say the positive and the negatives of globalization on women, that was a question last time. So you just don't have to explain what is globalization. Just write straightforward. This is the positive. These are the negatives. And instead of explaining what is globalization, you can, in fact, if you have some data or some example, you can like say maybe what was the impact on labor force participation of women or something like that. If you can write in example that thing, that is going to be more effective than rather than explaining the definition of globalization. That is not required. So positives, negatives, and maybe in concluding paragraph you can write 1 or 2 lines, or maybe you can balance it, or whatever the way you want to write it. So that is the way. And in this kind of question, maybe you can write in points, positives, negative. And there are going to be certain questions where writing in points, you are going to save your time. So you save your time from those questions, and utilize that time writing the question where you will need to write in paragraphs, because when you are going to write in paragraphs, it is going to take like more time. In that question you can utilize that time. So certain questions definitely are going to take a lot more time. So what I used to do is I used to go with the frame of mind that I'm going to attempt 6 questions in first hour, then 6, 7, 7 like this. But it becomes like quite of hard to go through this strategy. Go the way it suits you, but I think this way you'll be able to manage time also, because time management is very important. Because there is no use of writing 15 questions like with very good quality. So you write with fair amount of quality, attempt all the questions. That is very important. So handwriting is covered, like yeah, diagrams. Like many people say that how many diagrams you should draw. Should we use flow charts also? I would say don't overdo it. Do it wherever it is required only. Like last year there were not many questions where the diagrams were required. Earlier to that there were. In 2013 there were questions where like you could use diagrams and you can explain them very well. So don't overdo this diagram thing or flow charts. Use it wherever only it is required, and where you think that drawing a diagram is going to explain the question very well and it is going to be more effective. So you can do it there only, but don't overdo it. And writing should be good. You should write straight to the point, and you know you don't need to cover the entire word limit. Just like if it's 200, then maybe 150 to 200, that is okay. And wherever you can use the examples, use facts, because that is going to save you writing a lot of theory thing also. And just write the point straightforward and just give an example. It seems like the exam is very tough, definitely, but it's more tough in the sense that a lot of people are competing for that. But when it comes to preparing, and when it comes to writing in the exam, the more simple you keep it, the better it is going to be for you. So thank you.
So now I request Anupam to share his uh, secrets regarding preparation and answer writing. Anupam is already in IRTS. This year he got into IAS and he got 81st rank. Yes, sir.
Hello friends, I think I'm audible now, otherwise also. So first of all, I welcome you all, and I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart Pavan sir, who has been guiding force right from my first attempt with PubAd, and then later when ethics was, it became so he came to rescue, and my score improved in ethics as well as in PubAd. So I would begin short, begin like reverse from interview till prelim would go. So in interview, one of my seniors said that I asked him, he was an IAS, successful IAS. So I asked him what do we need as an IAS. So he told me just sit down and write which you want. Suppose you are a citizen, which you want to be in a particular IAS. Write, stick on your, whether you have it or not. don't have it, right? First of all, like he should be honest, integrity, hard work, not panicking in complex situations. UPSC is a situation so lengthy, so tiresome. You should not panic. You should not be desperate also. You are transferred, you are pressurized, your family gets severe. You should not get panic. You should have a long-term vision. So in this exam also, you should have a long-term vision. Don't count attempts, count your performance, at what level you are performing. So hard work. Now that we have got, and I'm currently into service. Once you will come into service, all this celebrity status and all this, like 1 or 2 months. After that, you are how I will survive. I'm kind of like to keep on doing things. I cannot just get a 3-word letter after my name and settle down. So in the this exam, to keep motivation, I will move on to framed form myself. For any topic mentioned in the syllabus, cover 2Ds. First is the definition, second is the dimension. Definition must mention the name you have at your in dimension would come to your rescue because he is there, his experience would tell he will sort out chef from heat. This is what it is. So after covering the dimensions, you have to think there is Adyan, there is none. We just study Hindu and tell to ourselves, okay, we don't I will not use the word analyze. It has become cliche. To analyze. You just sit with your friends or yourself, try to remember, recall it, and try to relate it to some of the events which are happening, or try to create one. I can promise you, and like for interview through together. The second attempt he got. So the thing was that he analyzed. We used to discuss in the night, wherever in dinner time. So we used to discuss. So this is what I can from myself. Then I reflected. Okay, yes, I used to do this. Like you read newspaper, don't just passively get things. Try to reflect upon this. If I were at this place, what I would have done? What should be done? This analysis will like get you a rank in mains. This is what is required for. In mains, as I followed sir's strategy, there should be 3 parts in your answers: introduction, body, and conclusion. Body in points. Introduction should be attention grabber, like it should be your punchline. After reading the introduction, the examiner makes a view of you, like how much you know and how you will proceed towards your answer. So introduction should be like attention, like some of the headings it should be there. Like it should be like essay, the introduction of an essay, and to the point as well. And in conclusion, you should not summarize, you should give a forward-looking view, like what should be done. And that forward-looking view should come from government policies and government stands. For example, I will quote one question from interview. So my board was Shatar Singh board. I got quite decent marks, 200. So he directly asked me, we are keeping Dalai Lama in India, so aren't we interfering in China's internal affairs? So I could have just given a blunt answer. I should have said, no sir, we are not doing, or we are doing. But the analysis thing which I am explaining is this. I said, sir, our policy of non-alignment is there, but I quoted Kautilya from Babad. In matters of state, national interest is supreme. So this introduction should be like this. When I said this, then I said, sir, we can use Dalai Lama as a bargaining chip because China is interfering, not only interfering, it is claiming our territory in Arunachal Pradesh. So we should use him as a balancing point. So now my answer is accompanied by analysis, government policy as well. Because then I quoted Honorable External Affairs Minister. She said, if we follow one China policy, China should also follow one India policy. If you write an answer on this, I think only 2-3 guys out of whoever are writing mains will write these 2 points. They will quote Kautilya and they will quote External Affairs Minister. So if you do this, examiner will be happy. If you do this, examiner will be happy. Examiner is happy, you will be happy. Simple as that. Our single point agenda is to make examiner happy through our answers, not whether this. And the only thing I could think of is writing a great attention grabbing introduction and conclusion, writing legibly and dividing into 3 parts. And I am sort of like I write articles in newspaper also in Hindu. I used to write letters to editor, so I have a sort of literary bent of mind. So I can give good headings. Like there was there was an essay, whether competition is good for Indian youth. So I divided into 3 Ds: the desirability of competition, the distortion it creates, and the direction it should take. The 3D of competition. So like this you should show some subheadings in your answers. So I have directly come to the point. I am not giving Bol Bachchan philosophy. I am telling you what can fetch you marks. And this will fetch you marks. Dividing answer in parts, giving subheadings, and writing in bullets the body part, introduction attractive, conclusion attractive. So this means this was my strategy. I have a separate copy for these sort of quotes and attention grabbing lines for every paper. Paper 1 to paper 4. And for history I have attention grabbing lines. If that comes, Gandhi told this. It is a post dated check on a falling bank. Right? I wrote this. When such answer came, I used to write it. Because only I will write, no one else. That makes it. Tell me a topic, I'll give. In the question answer session, I think of it. If you give a topic, I can create.
Like for uniform civil code question paper, how did you begin?
It is like you can say कि I would have written I would have quoted this article 44. I would have started from there. The DPSC. That is the most solid ground. No one can refute. It says this, and I would have concluded this is there. But why it is not in fundamental right, or why it was not enforced when in 1950, and why Dr. Ambedkar had to resign in 1956 because of giving rights to women. So it is a complex. If Dr. Ambedkar, person of that stature, at independence could not do this. He had to resign on this women's bill, equal Hindu code. So it has to be done. I have to trace. I have to know this. I would have traced that, and then I would have wrote it has to be done. It is desirable because it is mentioned in the constitution. No one can refute. Even prime minister cannot. Even president cannot. So why are you here? You write here it is desirable, but how? Through consensus, and it will take time. Democracy is never through radical or revolution. Democracy is evolutionary revolution. So these sort of quotes underline this. You get marks, 1 marks extra. Done. So this was my strategy. It was quite simple, and one small thing is this exam is not easy, but it is simple. And I am a fan of Einstein. He said that things should not be made simpler; it should be made as simple as possible. This is what Sir always emphasizes. In every class, at least one he would mention. The more simple you make the life of the examiner, the more happier and prosperous you will be in your life. Simple thing is that. I will not give big philosophies. Shall I come to prelims now? I think mains core part is done. What to study, what not to study, you know more than me. And if any questions, like you can tell. In optional, same study. Paper 2, I have consistently got one of the highest marks, 130 in PubAd. Even the toppers could not get. Why? Because of my writing style. I used to write I used to begin my answer with some case study from some remote village in Rajasthan or somewhere. And some quote of the thinkers. Actually, I like quotes. I like to quote. I like to learn. Like you are coming to class, read one quote. This is why I used to micromanage things. I used to like data crunching. My timetable was 5 data a day, 5 data facts, 5 facts a day before sleep. I have to learn. 5 data per day. At least I would remember 2. Can you imagine how much data facts I would have, and that from primary source like economic survey. To do this 1 quote a day, simple formulas. 1 quote a day. Can you imagine how many quotes?
So more facts, more quotes in answer making more marks.
Not irrelevantly. You put irrelevantly. No, there is no direct correlation. If you put relevantly, you have to qualify it. More quotes and more facts relevantly give more marks. Sure, that I can. Sir, I can say this. I think this is. I am examiner. Sir used to use psychology in honors. I am examiner. I have to check all these copies. Okay, now you can see face to face. You cannot see face to face. I will check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copy. I mean, you get bored with actresses watching movie, the same actress again and again. How can you not get bored with copies? So you will get bored. You need something different. You need to show that you are different. You can think, you can analyze, you can put things relevantly. Yesterday I was at Chanakya function, Shatrughan Sinha came. So he gave a very good thing. I liked it very much. Andaze Bayan.
He told ki khamosh is a very rude word. It means shut up. But how popular it is. People love him because of that. Why? Because andaze bayan. The way he says and the context he says it. Because he says khamosh to a bad person. That is the context. So you have to use that khamosh in that particular context, and I think I'm sure you will get because paper 2 I didn't study much. Consistent marks means in interview consistent marks means the most subjective one I have got highest mark. I have become highest because of the most essay, paper 4, ethics and interview. The most subjective ones, so somewhat I can connect the dots. It is there. And write articles and the letter to editor in Hindu. Do write, please. After reading editorial, do write the letter to editor. My first letter got published the next day. I wrote on ASPA. It was quite good, and many people praised, and I kept on writing. It is so confidence boosting, and in National Daily, your views are being read by lakhs of people. Comments will come on that. It's a great thing. Mains, I had to tell this. In prelims, I would say that thing which I can tell you is that it's not a funda. Simple thing is studying is like food. You are quite grown guys, like senior to me, but still I want to say, studying is like food. You have to eat and digest it daily. The point is it should be spaced learning. Like few friends of mine, they prepare history in 15 days. I imagine how they do. There's July 1 to 15 history. I'm going to prepare history in 15 days. What I used to do, take history and geography, 1 hour daily, just as a entertainment sort of. It could be like a story, you will digest it. Digestion is more important. Just eating up is just reading and turning pages. I don't think that would catch. That is the difference actually. You eat daily, read history, geography daily, and prelims. This is the first point. Prelims, another different point I want to make it. UPSC also conducts CPF. I got 28 rank in assistant commandant. The very first year I came in Delhi. When I saw I didn't prepare anything. I left whole essay of 80 marks. But still I could get a rank. After that, I'm mentioning this because of that thing. What you do, you take question papers of UPSC CPF, Central Armed Police Force Assistant Command exam, CDS exam, last 5 years question paper, you solve those. The approach we friends followed, 4 of us were there. Reverse engineering. You go to a question, for example, a question from Buddhism is there. See from what topic that question is there, try to answer it. If you can answer, well good. If you do not answer, in both the cases, you have to go to the NCERT or your primary source. You read the topic. Wikipedia, I don't trust it, but still you can go to Wikipedia. You have basic proof in this history. You go to that topic, you read that topic. I can promise you, you will never forget that topic, that particular topic. Because 4 of us will be there, 4 5 you will discuss. And because you have gone through a reverse process, brain is not acclimatized to this, it will remember things. Brain always remember, use psychology, brain always remember things which are extraordinary. It never forgets. So you do it for 1-2 months, I think it will greatly benefit. This reverse engineering you do, and previous year question paper of these 3 exams, I think it will help greatly. And like previous year question paper are a great help. Like last year I got into success on 4th July result came. From 4th July, 1 month I celebrated, and prelims was on 23rd August. I got barely 20-30 days, but still I could clear even when GS was there. My GS is not that strong. But because the previous year question I solved, and one of my friends, he was appearing for UPPCS, so he had all solved UPPCS. So I picked from their polity. I don't suggest it, but I picked polity because it was solved. It was nicely explained and analyzed. And history, 1940 to 1947, these 3 questions, and I could do it. So the point I'm trying to make is previous year questions are your great friend. The more time you spend with them, it will give you greater returns. That I can recall. This is the best. And overall, sir, I have always told me read 2 newspapers. I always try to. Even there is a Feedly app. I think you all will be knowing. Go download that and select what you want to read. I used to read even like New York Times editorial, this Guardian and all. Relevant ones, not all. And writing practice I would come to. I especially purchased a watch which has like in between 5 like minute-wise dots. Okay, and put it there. Write your answer. As as the hand minute reaches that point, you have to leave that answer. You have to leave. Then again you come and analyze. I left this. What I could have eliminated. This exercise you do for 1 week, 10 days. Your time management will be done. I am talking concrete things, not just micromanaging what we have to do. You have to do time management like this. That is time management. Like pandas are there to manage time and all. This is time management. If you're not able to finish that answer here, you will not be able to do it. Okay, these are the like what I thought I can contribute. After we can take questions and we can answer. Thank you so much.
Now I request Vijay, who got into IAS this year, who is one of the top scorers in both General Studies and Public Administration this year. I request him to share his ideas.
Good morning, all of you. Thank you, sir. Am I audible? Now? Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. My name is Vijay Meena. I'm a BTech from IIT Bombay 2010 pass out. Currently working with RBI as a manager. Just now resigned yesterday itself. So I have been associated with sir for the last 2 years. My earlier group got into services in 2013 itself. So I was the only one left. And this year, sir, with the grace of sir, I have cleared it. So how many people writing it for the first time? This time. And others for the next one, right? Okay, so the most of the things have been covered by previous speakers, Shalini and Anupam. The words like micromanaging and dimensions, reverse engineering, analysis, time management, most of the things have been covered by them. So I'll talk about what I did and what different things you would love to listen. First thing, as Shalini said, newspaper is very important. I used to read the Hindu in the previous 2 attempts, 2012 and 13, but then I shifted to Indian Express. I found it more informative, full of information, very simple language. So it depends on you whichever newspaper you want to read. How to read the newspaper? So as Anupam said, keep the previous year's question papers side. Just analyze the questions from where it has come. Has it come from current affairs? Has it come from some basic book? Then try to read the newspaper, because then you'll have a framework of mind. Okay, these type of questions are being asked. I have to read this article from this perspective. I have to analyze the things, as he said. You have to go behind the theme. That okay, this article is about women empowerment. What is the author trying to address? What 5 points he has said that are the reason behind why women are not being empowered. 5 reasons are there. 5 solutions he has given and 5 facts. Facts, as he said, you have to memorize facts so that you can quote them, that you can readily get from the newspaper and economic survey, basic things. While reading the newspaper, this time what different I did was that I didn't make the notes, as in the bill has arrived, I'll write 5 points. I didn't do that. What partnership agreement was signed between India and China, what are the points, I didn't write them. This time what different I did, last year I scored 380 and this year 402. I think the basic thing, as sir says, you have to enrich your answer. How you can enrich your answer? By giving examples, by giving quotations, by grabbing introductions, by giving different facts. So these things you can easily take from the newspaper. Make 4 registers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and PubAd and ethics, 6 registers are there. So whenever you get any examples, for example, any NGO has developed an app for rural development. You can write that NGO app, this thing. If the name is there, write that. This thing, only this thing. You any quote, any fact, write it. An ethics paper. Ethics is totally about current affairs. You have to define the concept and substantiate with the example. So from newspapers you can get all these things. You have to very micromanage things, as he says. So newspaper is okay. Then what to read is, I think everybody of you knows what to read, how to read it. From the perspective of analysis, yes, you have to go for the why part, as sir says. When you answer any question in PubAd, I'm specifically talking about PubAd, you have to answer any question, you have to go for the why part, why this question has been asked, what was the issue. So while reading any book, whether you are reading Bipin Chandra, Spectrum, Lakshmikant, anything, or for example newspapers, just think before reading that article. Okay, I have these things in mind. For women empowerment or rural development, I have these perspectives. What different does he say? What difference does the book talk about? So while reading the books, I just used to make short. I used to write the keywords. For example, I've read 2 paragraphs of Spectrum. Spectrum is notes in itself. 2 paragraphs of Lakshmikant, or for example, post-independence India. So near the paragraph itself, I'll write 2-3 key points, so that once I revise, you cannot revise the whole book, right? You have to go to the keywords. Okay, this was a keyword, and when I recall this word, I'll imagine all those things which I read in the first attempt. So try to shorten things. Don't if you run behind notes and you run behind many books, you'll make the same mistake which I did in 2013. We had 6 months gap. I read all ARCs. I read India Yearbook. I read many magazines and everything, but I didn't shorten the notes. So when you come at the revision stage, you cannot revise those notes, right? You have to make some short notes. So whenever possible, try to make short notes. And one more thing which I did to memorize was that whenever I went through newspaper or any other book, I came across some fact. I'll write that on a chit, yellow chits. You get these sticky notes, right? I'll write those 5 points and stick on the wall. So whenever I'm thinking, I'll just go through them. This is a way you can develop your own method. This is the way you can memorize and retain facts. I had around 1,000, not 1,000, but around 100, 150 chits in all my rooms. So whenever I went across them, and then I used to memorize. Okay, then through this exercise, I almost remember around 150, 200 facts. So that is a good thing. You can quote them in essays, ethics, 1, 2, PubAd, geography, wherever possible. Now the next thing, one more thing, while reading the notes, books or newspapers, try to create mind maps. Okay, Mughals came, then this came, then they came, these were the reasons. Then through arrows you can try to create those mind maps. And one more exercise you can develop is that you can form a group, you can discuss with people, you can tell them, for example, you have 3-4 people, you can tell them, okay, these things I have learned, and these were the causes, and these were the consequences. So they can counter question you, so that your critical analysis that develops. You can critically think while reading. You think from that perspective. Next is attempting the question papers. So right after the prelims, you can start with the question answer sessions, and writing answers in the stipulated time is very important. In the 2013 paper, as Shalini said, I also missed many questions. In paper 1, I attempted 160, second 190, 190, 220. So my other friends who cleared it, as I said, they had attempted all of them, 240, 250, 240, 250. So that was a mistake. But now people know that we have to attempt all 25 questions. So in general, the marks of GS has improved. In general, the average has improved. So what you have to do is enrich through those things. What I said earlier. So while attempting the questions, just be basic. What the question is there, because in GS, as the notification says, that the answer should be understandable, but from to a person who does not have technicalities, who does not have any details, just a general answers. But you have to be you have to stick to the context. The content should be specific, precise, concrete. So, for example, if he has asked what are the reasons behind the quote, he'll give a quote and he'll say what are the reasons, what solutions you could provide. Just you can give an introduction with a grabbing introduction thing. Then you can straight away come to the point. I think the reasons could be as follows: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with facts, and the solutions could be as follows: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the conclusion. Because of these things could be improved. Earlier in my previous attempt, I didn't use to write conclusions. This year I tried. Secondly, while attempting the answers, as he does, Anupam, the 5-minute thing, you have to do it. That you have to, within 7.5 minutes, you have to complete that answer and move on to the next. You also have to strategize that which all questions you'll attempt first. Because what I used to do is that out of 20 questions, I know 13 are best. I can attempt 13, 14 well. So, and rest 3, 4 are okay, and rest 2, I don't have any idea. So I'll attempt 4 best, then I'll go to the normal ones, then I'll come back, then I'll go back. Because when I write the best ones, my confidence gets improved. Okay, I'm doing good, So in the normal question also, my performance gets improved. So while attempting the questions, while writing the test series is very important. You have to write as many tests, write as many as possible. Prelim is all about covering the dimensions. Mains, according to me, is writing, writing, and writing. You have covered all the things. You have to put down in your paper. So you have to write as many questions, as many tests as possible, and evaluate with self-evaluation is good. But if your friends are there, your group is there, that is best. That is best thing. So this was regarding attempting the questions. Regarding a syllabus and previous years, as I said, you have to stick all the 4 papers on your wall. You have to continuously look at it while reading the newspaper also, so that you relate, okay, this part is through this in this chapter. Although interlinkages are there, as Shalini said, you have to interlink the papers, but you should know, okay, this part can be put, this article can be put in food processing. This is paper 3 material. So you'll just have idea, so that interlinking is simpler. Then first you should at least have knowledge about the syllabus. What is the syllabus? Also the previous year's question papers, that would also help. Then discussions, as I said, you can what I did was that I made a group. One person was very good at history, one person was very good at geography. You may not find such people, but you can read one chapter. For example, you have read chapter 2 of Spectrum. You can discuss with your friends, ask him to read another chapter, and then you can listen. Because this analysis part is more important. In 7.5 minutes, you cannot just create answers. The only thing which would help is that whatever you have earlier analyzed, and those mind maps would be important. Those you can put down. You cannot create answers there by yourself, right? Then the schedule, you try to, once looking at the syllabus, try to analyze, okay, within 1 month I'll cover history, geography, and polity. These things are there. Don't just study arbitrarily. Okay, I'll study history today, I'll study geography today, I'll study polity today. That won't serve a purpose. Be directed, targeted. Okay, within 2 weeks I'll finish this. Within 1 week I'll finish this. I used to have a stopwatch in wherein I used to calculate what time I gave for the day. For example, today I gave 8 hours, or today I gave 9 hours. When I used to eat, or when I used to be able to go around, I used to stop that watch, so that when I sleep, I get the cumulative time, what time I did today, what time I clocked. So that would help you in scheduling. For example, in 2 weeks I have to study history this much. Okay, today I'll study 10 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours, depending on your capacity. So scheduling is always important, so that you know when you have to write the test. The GS test is coming, PubEd test is coming. I have to finish this in 2 days. I have to finish this in 1 day. So be directed. Don't just go arbitrarily. Then one more thing, while attempting the questions, there's an issue. There's always a debate I used to do with my friends: quality versus quantity. For example, in 2013, where I attempted the papers, I knew I could attempt all 25, but I thought, okay, these normal questions, I don't need to spend much time. Let's just be focused. I'll give my best in 19 questions, so that my overall quality gets improved and I'll get overall good marks. But that didn't happen, because you won't get 5.5, more than 5.5 out of 12.5. So don't go behind the quality. You have to be very quantitative also. You have to attempt all the questions with a decent quality. Okay. And then one more thing is that the examples and the interlinkages, the different kind of ideas you get out of the newspaper, you can quote them anywhere. For example, you can quote the quotations in ethics, you can quote the quotations in essays, paper 2, PubEd, history. So interlinkage is more important. I'll just give you an example. I just brought paper 3 question paper. There was a question in paper 3. It says that the frequency of earthquakes appears to have increased in the Indian subcontinent. However, India's preparedness for mitigating their impact has significant gaps. Discuss various aspects. So Okay, so I started with what are the gaps straight away. These are the gaps. And then while giving the solutions, while giving the ideas, I had read in Science and Technology that India is developing an Aditya satellite, which what it would do is that whenever the earthquake occurs, it emits some radiations. So when those radiations go up and meet a zone, I forgot the name, then the heat difference is created. So that satellite notices that heat difference and then tell you that where the earthquake might occur. So in the solution I wrote this, not the whole explanation. So this is a science and technology thing. I used it in earthquake mitigation thing. So interlinkages, as I told you, they can help you anywhere. The examples and the quotations and everything, they can help you anywhere. So this was the different thing or the things which I did. I hope you all get clear this year, and best of luck. Thank you.
Now I can request Poonam, who has to share her experiences. Before asking her and speak to you, let me tell you that her expectation for this examination is, especially the previous attempt, it's an incredible one. And in spite of many odds against her, she could clear this examination, and it should be very highly motivating, highly inspiring, story for you. Story, it is a real life thing. It would be better if we listen all these things her only. I request Poonam to come and share her experiences with you. Yep.
Good morning to all of you, and thank you, Pavan sir, for such kind words. Trust me, he was just, I think, whatever he said, that much of it. I'm not that much worth, but I'm just trying, and I'll try to put across my experiences. The last attempt was special to me because, in a way, like I was 9 months pregnant when I gave my prelims, and I had my son at the, I think, about 3 months old when I gave my mains. So yeah, that way we can say it was kind of challenge for me. But with the help of Pavan sir, and also I would say with the support of my family, I could give the paper. Now let's come to the preparation thing. Regarding, actually I was telling sir also that I may not be the right speaker to talk about it, because last year my preparation was very I would say pathetic. I could study only for 2-3 months for pre, and for mains it was only 1 month, to be very honest. Well, most of you won't believe it, but it is a fact, and sir knows it. I could only devote only 1 month, and that too only about 4-5 hours. But I would say that this paper is not much about, like, it's more about your mindset also, your attitude towards the exam. The more cool and the more you will be positive towards your attempt, like the more tension free you will be able to give the paper. As was with me, while I was writing my mains, I was thinking that I was nothing, I cannot lose anything. I can only gain. I'm already working as ACP in Haryana. I'm right now ACP Vigilance Gurgaon. So I was writing the paper with the mindset that, see, this is, I can only gain a rank. Otherwise, it's okay, fine, it's experience, I write the exam, and that's it. And also, after 5 years of service, since 2011 candidates, you must be aware, they were accorded extra attempts. So I was also, like, the destiny was somehow following me, that I was given an attempt after 5 years. I was totally out of touch, I was totally out of preparation, and then I gave it. So I think the best thing, like in last attempts also, I gave my first attempt in 2009 when I started my preparation. That time I got into railways, and meantime I got into Haryana Police Service, so I didn't join the railways. In 2010, my second attempt, I again got railways, but then again I didn't join railways, and I could make out. And in my third attempt, I belong to a general category, so I was only age-wise I was only having 3 attempts. Now in my third attempt, I basically I would say that I did the mistake of the mains result came. I was almost sure of getting a rank. Then, and when the pre was just CSET was introduced, it was just about like 1 month I could get for the preparation, and somehow also that last chance, anxiety. I think some of the people over here must be having this last chance. Don't get this pressure, get over you, because it is gonna ruin you. My preparation for the mains was the best at the time of 2010-2011, but because of 2010, my that railways kind of thing, I was so much disappointed. I actually went into depression, and I couldn't qualify prelims in my third attempt. And the mains ki preparation to dhari ki dhari reh gayi fir. So whatever the best I could have given in my mains, that was just wasted because I couldn't qualify pre, and my, that story with the UPSC was just over. Now coming back to this attempt, I think that the best part which I feel this time was my attitude. I was just giving this exam with a more, cool attitude. When I went to write pre, I was like, okay, I know. I only prepared the traditional subjects. I was only having 2-3 months. So I would only say, like, whatever I can guide you is that for prelims, just try to focus first of all on the traditional areas. Like, I only focused on polity, history, geography, economics, which are the basically core areas. Generally what people, and my score in GS in paper 1 is 124. So I think that's a good score. I don't know good, but it's okay score. So I was almost sure after pre that I would be able to get through. So, but my focus, I was not able to prepare much current affairs. So all 2-3 months, what I focused was that I made sure from polity. So my question would be right in that thing. History is one of my favorite areas. So history is also my strong area. So I concentrated that I'm not able to, I get all the correct answers. At least if 70 questions I'm preparing, so out of them at least 60 questions I'm able to get them right. And trust me, if you go by that psychology, you'll be able to do it. Because generally what we do mistake is that we actually try for those 20-30 marks question. Out of 100 marks, we normally concentrate most of the energies in the last time on those 20-30. Like we go for so many test series, we go for so many encyclopedic questions. This point, I have not read about it. Let's jot it down. Maybe other people are not aware. If this question comes from this area, I'll be the only one who will be able to, write this question. Please don't fall into that trap. Because see, you even after you check out the answer keys of UPSC, I think about till now, until the UPSC gives its official answer key, till then nobody is sure about that. At least about 10-15 questions, they are still dicey. Even the coaching institutes, they Google, they do everything. We Google after the coming out of the pre, and then too we are not very sure about those 10-15 questions. So trust me, if Google is not able to provide the answers after so much of extensive research, so even we people are having a limited retention power. So concentrate on that hardcore areas like polity, like history, like geography, economics. And I'm not saying you to just ignore current affairs. Focus on current affairs too. But from an examiner point of view, if you're reading Hindu, if you're reading Indian Express, then please try to focus the things on that what exactly the examiner is going to point it out. He is definitely not looking for some specialist. If you check out the question papers, you will definitely try to do, if most of you must have been enrolled in some test series or so. If not, then please, along with the test series, please try to do the last year 10 years papers. You would say the questions don't get repeated, but I think once or twice they do. But that is not the reason why I'm telling you to go for last year 10 year series. The issue is that it will make you acquainted with a kind of level of UPSC. If you go by the test series, offered by many coaching institutes, so what they'll do, they are just giving you information. Most of the options are all of the above. If you they are having so much information in one question. So that is not UPSC is not going to give you information. They are going to test you. So basic idea for the 10 years is that for example, if you have completed polity, if you do last 10 year questions of UPSC polity, so you will check it out that what is your preparation level, and it will also give you confidence about it. So I think you must focus on that. Is my tip. And also I would say this tip has been, I would say I have been borrowed it from sir only, because at the time of pre, when I was only having 2-3 months, I called him up and I asked him that, see, this is a 3 months, what should I do? So he told me that you go for this. Instead of going for a test series, new test series by any coaching institute, at least first of all focus on the 10 years this series, and I think it really paid me off. In my pre, when I saw the paper, I was almost confident that I'll get through. So this is one thing which I feel that you people should focus on. Focus on, and also for the current affairs thing, don't go for very deep information, exactly facts and figures, because your mind has also a retention power. And also in case of exam, like the practical situation, when the negative marking sword is just hanging over your head, that figure thing, you sometimes, get confused. You will say, oh, is it like, you cannot take a risk over in the exam. So you will think that, is it the figure right? So even if you, would have wasted your so much time remembering the figures, you will not be able to, that is my experience, that we are not able to reproduce it as much, with as much confidence as we would have devoted this time to focus on our other areas. So this is something about GS. And regarding subject, I think this attempt, my subject, I took socio, but in my previous attempts in 2009-10, when we were having two subjects, I did had public administration. I had to coaching from Pavan sir itself, and that time I got a good score. I think in my second attempt, once I got 350. At that time, the paper was about 600 marks, yeah. And in my second attempt, I got 365 in PubEd. So that was a good score, and I think for PubEd, I cannot comment much when sir is sitting over here. He is the best judge to you. But I think as far as mains is concerned, I would only say write as many answers. I was not able to write it on my own, but write as many answers right from the day one. Like just after going through normally what a mistake we do, we think that okay, let the result come, then we'll start writing answers. Okay, let me complete the syllabus, then we start writing the answers. Please don't do that mistake. Just write from the day, next day. For example, if you have completed one chapter of your optional, one chapter of any subject like polity, history, so you can check out the last year papers, or also nowadays too, I think many websites are also hosting very good questions like Insights, IS Baba, and also I think many coaching institutes and GS packages like this coaching institutes also are having questions. So you can also, write down the answers. What I mean to say is that take a topic, think about it, complete the topic, and write the answers then and then itself. Don't wait, okay, I'll write the answers, start writing answers in November. No. And also please write the answers with the watch, because nowadays paper is also about, even I came to know about it last year only. There were so many questions in our time. It was not that much lengthy, but now they are. So you need to really focus on the speed aspect. If you're able to, about like, if I'm only able to complete 15 questions, so I think you're already losing, which was the case with me in mains. In almost every paper, I because of the speed thing, no writing practice, I actually lost 30-40 marks in every paper. I sincerely feel so, because I could only attempt 15 or 16 questions in every paper, and 4 questions totally unattempted, not because I didn't know about them, only because I was not having the speed. So I think these are my tips, and I really hope that listening to me for this 10-15 minutes just would have provided you some insight. Thank you so much.
Now we can have Qasim, who got into IPS this year, to share his experiences.
Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Pavan sir for inviting me here and interacting with you guys, and more importantly, for making me what I am today. And I can say this with the utmost conviction and without any sort of hesitation that this would not have been possible without you, sir. Thank you so much. Last year, on the 4th of July, when the final result came, last year I appeared in interview but didn't make it to the final list. So when the result came, before the result, I was pretty much sure that I'm going to make it to the list. But unfortunately that didn't happen. So after 15 days the marks came, and then I came to Pavan sir, and I just said to him that, sir, nothing is going in my favor. I don't know what happened and where the things actually went wrong. So he advised me that, okay, there is no need to worry. You write the answers, you write the test series, and I'll check the copies and we'll let you know. We'll sort it out. What's the problem? Where the problem actually is. And I joined the test series, and I wrote some answers. And after 2 or 3 tests, I found a pattern. I realized where I was lacking. I found that weak spot of mine. And the thing was, there were two things which were going against me. One thing, I was giving a very hefty sort of introduction, and because I was giving a very long introduction, so body part के लिए बहुत कम बचता था लिखने को, ठीक है. तो इंट्रोडक्शन लिखते लिखते इतना लंबा हो जाता था ना कि बॉडी पार्ट के लिए जो मेन आपका जो मसाला होना चाहिए ना, जो ठीक है, तो उसके लिए बड़ा कम टाइम मेरे पास बचता था, स्पेस का वर्ड्स कम बचते थे मेरे पास, ठीक है. सो सर टोल्ड मी टू रिड्यूस दैट इंट्रोडक्शन पार्ट इन 1 or 2 lines and then try to focus on what the question, what is the demand of the question, what actually the examiner is seeking from you, right, and try to break the question into component parts, ठीक है. I was not doing this. I was just writing a very monotonous kind of answers, right, like in a prose form. So it's very boring, as sir always always say this. You just try to make the life of the examiner easy and he will reward you. So I followed this approach, and it's not easy to change your approach, right? All of you are new, so try to inculcate these things right from the beginning, because once you have developed your writing skill, it's very difficult to change. So try to, inculcate this thing right from the start. Most of the things have already been discussed by the esteemed panel members, but still I would like to share my own personal experience with you, because I have also spent a considerable amount of time in this field. So yeah, I am 2010 pass out from IIT BHU, and from there the story begins. Right. Let me start with prelims, because it's the first hurdle you have to clear, and without clearing this hurdle you are not going to appear in mains. And believe me, it's very difficult. Difficult not in the exact term, but difficult because, for you people, because you are going to appear in the first, most of you are going to appear for the first time, right? Okay. So you'll enter into the examination hall and you will see the paper. A lot of things will come across into your mind. So try to remember 2 or 3 things when you are going to attempt the preliminary paper. The first thing is that it's not a paper of knowledge, right, so far as the prelims is concerned, and to some extent it goes for mains also, right. In prelims there are 100 questions in GS1 paper, and the second paper is qualifying, CSAT is qualifying now, so you will be judged by the paper 1 only, right. So try to attempt as much question as possible. I am not saying that try to attempt 100 questions, but still I found some people who actually go into the examination hall, they attempt only 50 or 55 questions, they come out of the examination hall and say that मुझे तो इतना ही आता था, I was 100% sure in only these much question, I have attempted this question, ठीक है. यार आदमी हो, कंप्यूटर थोड़ी बहुत गलती भी तो होगी, तो उसको भी तो लेकर के चलो. इफ यू अटेम्प्टेड 50 क्वेश्चन यू विल नॉट गेट 100 मार्क्स, इट्स ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल, ठीक है. कुछ ना कुछ 2-3 तो गलत भी तो होंगे, तो आपको उसको भी तो लेकर के चलना है, ठीक है. फॉर सेफ मार्जिन यू हैव टू स्कोर एटलीस्ट 125-130 मार्क्स इन प्रीलिम्स, सो दैट द डे you give your paper, come at your home, check the answer from the website, and just be clear that you are going to clear prelims this time, and jump on to the next stage. Otherwise क्या होता है कि 2 महीने तक दिमाग में वही चला करता है, यार होगा कि नहीं होगा, 50 जगह से फिर आप आंसर्स चेक करते हो अपने, ठीक है, फिर कट ऑफ का डिस्कशन चलता है, ठीक है. तो डोंट इन्वॉल्व इनटू दीज सच थिंग्स, ठीक है. इट विल किल योर टाइम एंड इट विल बी इंजूरियस फॉर योर हेल्थ. तो प्रीलिम्स में क्या है कि 100 क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, ठीक है. मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ये है कि प्रीलिम्स इज नॉट अबाउट द सिलेक्शन, इट्स अबाउट एलिमिनेशन, ठीक है. जो 100 क्वेश्चंस होते हैं उसमें से ऑलमोस्ट 50 और 55 क्वेश्चंस would be from static part. From static part I means polity, economics, geography, history, right? These things are static part. You can read this from study material, from the standard text. There are standard textbook. You can read it from wherever you want. But other 45 questions, you have to refer to the various sources like internet, magazines, right? So you have to go to extra mile to cover these sources, and the art of elimination is tested in these 45 questions. For example, two kind of questions are very oftenly asked in UPSC. They give you 4 statement, and then they will ask you which of the following is correct or which of the following is incorrect, and they will give you options like this: 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, right? So I have seen that among these 4 or 5 options, 1 or 2 of the options are either very strongly worded statements, right? Like suppose they have asked about some the use of chemical in particular industry, right? Then they will give you a statement like this, that this chemical can never be used in fala industry. Okay, so this is a very strongly negative statement. So you can eliminate this statement, because generally everything has some use everywhere. ठीक है, तो आप ये नहीं कह सकते हो कि इस पर्टिकुलर चीज का एप्लीकेशन कभी यहां पर होगा ही नहीं. इस टाइप के जो स्टेटमेंट आते हैं ना, नेवर, नॉट एट ऑल, ठीक है, तो इस तरह के स्टेटमेंट को आप दिमाग में बेल बज जानी चाहिए, घंटी बज जानी चाहिए कि यहां पे गड़बड़ है. यूपीएससी ने इसलिए दिया है क्योंकि इसको क्रॉस मार्क करना है. ठीक है, ये होता है स्ट्रांगली नेगेटिव स्टेटमेंट. एक इसी का उल्टा होता है स्ट्रांगली पॉजिटिव स्टेटमेंट. ऑलवेज, जैसे ही ऑलवेज देखो ना, घंटी बज जानी चाहिए यार कि ये गड़बड़ है कुछ. ठीक है, क्योंकि हर चीज का हर जगह पे एप्लीकेशन कैसे होगा यार. ठीक है, ये पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है, कई किताबों में नहीं मिलता है. ये मैंने खुद का मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है. और you go by past at least 4 or 5 year prelims papers. ठीक है, from 2011 onwards, 2011 was sort of watershed so far as prelims mains is concerned. 2011 is a watershed. पैटर्न थोड़ा चेंज हो गया है 2011 के बाद. ठीक है, तो आप प्रीलिम्स के पेपर खासतौर से ना 2 बार 3 बार 4 बार देखो, आंसर की मिल जाती है मार्केट में. ठीक है, नेट पे अवेलेबल है, यूपीएससी की वेबसाइट पर अवेलेबल है. यू गो देयर एंड चेक द आंसर्स फ्रॉम देयर. वहां पे किस तरह के वो ऑप्शंस एलिमिनेट कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो यू कैन सी ए ट्रेंड. ठीक है, उससे आपको काफी हेल्प मिलेगी. बाकी प्रीलिम्स के लिए हाँ, अब बात आती है यार कि स्टैटिक पोर्शन तो हो गया. ठीक है, अब जो बचे हुए जो 40 क्वेश्चन है उनमें से भी तो हमें कुछ सही करने हैं. एटलीस्ट ट्राई टू, इफ यू आर अटेम्प्टिंग 20 or 30 क्वेश्चन, सो ट्राई टू मेक 10 or 15 of them right. Try to get 15 of them right. So वो कैसे होगा, उसके लिए इंटरनेट nowadays has become a major source. ठीक है, आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हो, न्यूज़पेपर में बहुत सारी चीजें, ट्रिवियल वर्ड्स आते हैं, छोटे छोटे इंसिडेंट्स आते हैं, वर्ड्स. बिजनेस पेज पढ़ते हो, उसमें बहुत सारे टर्म्स आपको मिलेंगे. ठीक है, आप उनको अपनी कॉपी पर या नोटबुक पर या इंटरनेट या आपने ऑनलाइन नोट्स बना रखे, कहीं पर भी आप उनको लिख लो. स्टिकी नोट जैसा कि विजय ने बताया, आप कहीं पर भी उनको लिख लो, और मतलब हफ्ते में एक बार या 15 दिन में एक बार आप उनको ना इंटरनेट से सर्च करो, गूगल सर्च करो उनको. ठीक है, और उनके बारे में देखो कि वो क्या है. इस तरह के आपको अगर ये साल भर आप एक्सरसाइज करोगे ना, तो काफी सारी चीजें आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन इकट्ठा हो जाएगी. प्रीलिम्स में बहुत सारी चीजें आपको ना मतलब सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में आपके रहती है, और जब आप ऑप्शन देखते हो तब आपको क्लिक करता है कि हाँ यार ये हमने पढ़ा था कहीं. आप अक्सर ऐसा होगा ना कि आप इंटरनेट पे आपने कहीं देखा होगा, विकिपीडिया पे आपने कहीं देखा होगा, मृणाल की वेबसाइट पे आपने कहीं देखा होगा, और जब आप क्वेश्चन देखोगे तब आपको रियलाइज होगा अरे यार हाँ ये तो मैंने वहां पर देखा था. ठीक है, तो प्रीलिम से पहली बात ये है कि क्वेश्चंस कोशिश ये करना है हमें कि एटलीस्ट 75 to 80 क्वेश्चंस हमें अटेम्प्ट करना है. ये नहीं कि यार कट ऑफ पिछली बार 110 गई थी तो 55 ही करके आएंगे अब की बार तो. ठीक है, वो ह्यूमन एरर हो जाता है थोड़ा बहुत, तो उतना मार्जिन अपने को लेकर के चलना है. कट ऑफ भी ऊपर नीचे होती रहती है. ठीक है. Now comes the mains part. Mains is all about answer writing, as you all know. ठीक है. It's not the test of knowledge. It's about how you present yourself. Adna se bayan, what Anupam was saying, कि how you are presenting yourself. ठीक है. क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, 20 क्वेश्चंस आते हैं पेपर 1 2 3 में 20 क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट फैक्टर, लिमिटिंग फैक्टर टाइम होता है, ना कि नॉलेज. ठीक है. और बिलीव मी कि 20 क्वेश्चंस जो मेंस में आते हैं, nobody knows the answer of all the 10, nobody knows the answer of all the 20 question, and I can say this with utmost conviction. No one, not even the rank 1. 20 क्वेश्चंस किसी को नहीं आते हैं. यार यूपीएससी अपनी इंसल्ट थोड़ी कराएगा यार, ऐसे क्वेश्चन देके 20 सवाल कर लोगे, ऐसे कैसे होगा. ठीक है. आपको मैक्सिमम 14-15 क्वेश्चंस ही आते हैं. नाउ द आर्ट इज हाउ टू अटेम्प्ट, हाउ टू डिवाइड द टाइम बिटवीन दीज क्वेश्चंस. कितना टाइम आपको उन 15 क्वेश्चंस को डिवोट करना है जो आपको अच्छे से आते हैं, और कितना टाइम आपको उन 5 क्वेश्चंस को डिवोट करना है जिसमें आपको थोड़ा बहुत पता है. ठीक है. तो प्रायोरिटाइजेशन यहां पर मस्ट है. जब आपको आंसर शीट मिलती है यूपीएससी की मेंस की, तो वो थोड़ी देर पहले मिल जाती है, आपको 5 मिनट पहले मिल जाती है. तो डू वन थिंग, ट्राई टू प्रायोरिटाइज द क्वेश्चन. लाइक आई विल डू दिस 15 क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट, and because I know these questions very well, and then after I will do these 5 questions. ठीक है. उससे क्या मेरे साथ क्या हुआ था, लेट मी शेयर माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस. 2013 में 25 क्वेश्चंस थे. ठीक है. तो वही था कि 1 से लेकर 25 तक ही करना है सीधे. तो टाइम डिवोट कर लिया कि भाई 7 मिनट में ऐसे करना है. तो हुआ क्या कि लास्ट के जो पेपर 1 में लास्ट के जो 5 क्वेश्चन थे ना, दैट आई न्यू वेरी वेल. बट हुआ क्या कि करते करते लास्ट के 5 क्वेश्चन के लिए मेरे पास 5 मिनट बचे. तो क्या ही कर लेंगे यार 5 मिनट में. तो डिस्पाइट ऑफ नोइंग एवरीथिंग, आई डिडंट एबल टू डू जस्टिस विद दोस क्वेश्चंस. तो ये चीज एक है कि आपको प्रायोरिटाइज करना है कि भाई ये 10 या 12 क्वेश्चंस मुझे अच्छे से आते हैं, तो इनके साथ मैं पूरा जस्टिस करूंगा. इनको जो बेस्ट आंसर मैं लिख सकता हूं, द बेस्ट आई कैन प्रोड्यूस, आई विल गिव इट टू दिस क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है. टाइम लिमिट अगर मान लो 8 मिनट के बजाय अगर इन क्वेश्चंस पे जो आपको अच्छे से आते हैं, अगर इसमें 8.5 मिनट भी लग रहा है, देन इट्स वर्थ इट. ठीक है. रादर देन कि आपको जो बिल्कुल नहीं आता है, आप उसमें अगर 8 मिनट दोगे तो आप क्या ही कर लोगे यार, उसमें 1 के बजाय 1.5 नंबर मिल जाएगा. ठीक है. तो लेकिन एक चीज है, करना सब है, अटेम्प्ट पूरे क्वेश्चन करना है. ये नहीं कह रहा हूं मैं कि अटेम्प्ट आप मतलब सिर्फ 15 ही क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करो. अटेम्प्ट अपने को पूरा करना है. बट ये कि यहां पर जो 15 क्वेश्चन जो आपको अच्छे से आते हैं ना, जो आपने पहले से ही प्रायोरिटाइज कर रखा है 1 2 3 4, उसने को आपने पहले अटेम्प्ट करना है. और वो मान लो आपके पास 5 क्वेश्चन बचे हैं. ठीक है. और लास्ट का आधा घंटा भी है, तो इट्स सफिशिएंट. आप आधे घंटे में उन 5 क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो, क्योंकि वैसे भी वो आपको बहुत अच्छे से नहीं आते हैं. तो आप 5 मिनट में कुछ उनके बारे में लिख सकते हो. छोड़ना नहीं है क्वेश्चन. ये मतलब फेटल एरर हो जाती है. क्यों? क्योंकि यार आफ्टर ऑल इट्स अ कॉम्पिटिशन. अगर आपके साथ वाला कर रहा है, देन यू हैव टू डू इट. ठीक है. यू डोंट हैव ए चॉइस. आपको छोड़ना नहीं है, आपको करना है. एक क्वेश्चन आया था यार पिछली बार पेपर 2 में, वो आर्बिट्रेशन और कॉन्सिलिएशन के ऊपर. ठीक है. कुछ नहीं पता था यार उसके बारे में, कभी नहीं पढ़ा था. पर अब ये कि करना है तो करना है. तो हाँ, तो उसमें कुछ नहीं पता था, तो आर्बिट्रेशन और कॉन्सिलिएशन के बारे में थोड़ा लिख दिया. अरे यार एग्जामिनर कम से कम इस बात पे नंबर दे देगा, लड़के ने मेहनत तो किया है थोड़ा. ठीक है. आधा नंबर मिल जाएगा. और अगर इस तरह से करके 5 क्वेश्चन है, आधा नंबर भी मिल गया तो 2.5 नंबर है. ठीक है. दैट कैन मेक अ डिफरेंस ऑफ अराउंड 50 रैंक्स. ठीक है. तो वो फाइनल पे पता चलता है, जब नंबर आते हैं ना तब पता चलता है यार कि 3 नंबर और आ जाते तो ये हो जाता. ठीक है. तो ये चीज है. आंसर राइटिंग है बहुत जरूरी है. और आंसर राइटिंग मतलब मेरा तो ये मानना है ना कि जैसे आप लोगों के पास अभी टाइम है, ठीक है, तो आप लोग रेगुलर बेसिस पे आंसर राइटिंग करो. मेरा क्या था कि मैंने टेस्ट सीरीज ज्वाइन किया था, तो मैं बड़ा मतलब मेरा पीसमील अप्रोच रहता था, सिर्फ टेस्ट सीरीज में आंसर लिखता था. ठीक है. लेकिन बेटर ये होगा कि अभी आपके पास टाइम है, जैसा कि अभी पूनम मैम बता रही थी कि अब ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म्स आ गए. आईएएस बाबा है, इनसाइट ऑन इंडिया है. यहां पर ना डेली बेसिस पर आपके पास 7-8 क्वेश्चंस वो देते हैं न्यूज़पेपर से रिलेटेड, एंड यू कैन डू आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस फ्रॉम देयर ओनली. ठीक है. आप वहां पर अपने आंसर पोस्ट कर सकते हो. ऑनलाइन नहीं लिख सकते तो पेपर पे लिख लो. रोज डेली 1 या 2 क्वेश्चन आप लोग लिखो, एंड यू विल फाइंड अ रिमार्केबल डिफरेंस आफ्टर लेट्स से 2 or 3 months इन योर आंसर राइटिंग स्टाइल, आपकी स्पीड बढ़ेगी, आपकी राइटिंग स्पीड अच्छी होगी, आपकी राइटिंग कैलीग्राफी आपकी अच्छी होगी, आपके पास दिमाग में पॉइंट्स आने लगेंगे, ठीक है। तो इसके नंबर ऑफ बेनिफिट्स इसके हैं, रादर देन कि आप कोई टेस्ट सीरीज और सिर्फ टेस्ट पेपर्स लिखो। रोज डेली बेसिस पर आप ये रूटीन बना लो कि हमें भाई रोज एक आंसर लिखना है, वो या तो जीएस का हो, या तो ऑप्शनल का हो, पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का हो, या किसी का भी, आपको एक आंसर डेली लिखना है, ठीक है। तो ये आप डेली बना लो। बाकी मुझे मेरा पर्सनली मुझे राज्यसभा के कुछ प्रोग्राम्स आते हैं, राज्यसभा टीवी है ना, अच्छा इंटरनेट तो सबके पास होगा, ठीक है, वो नेसेसरी नहीं भी हो तो लगवा लेना, ठीक है, उसके बिना प्रिपरेशन करना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है आजकल जिस तरह के पेपर आ रहे हैं। तो राज्यसभा टीवी है, राज्यसभा टीवी में एक प्रोग्राम आता है द बिग पिक्चर करके, ठीक है, वो 5 days a week आता है, ठीक है, बढ़िया प्रोग्राम है, करंट अफेयर्स के लिए अच्छा प्रोग्राम है, ठीक है, आप देख सकते हो उनको। वहां से जो आपको व्यूज मिलेंगे ना, वहां पे जो पैनलिस्ट होते हैं वो ज्यादातर रिटायर्ड ब्यूरोक्रेट्स होते हैं, सब्जेक्ट एक्सपर्ट्स होते हैं, तो उस तरह के पैनलिस्ट आपको यूजुअली कहीं नहीं मिलेंगे। पेपर में भी जो आर्टिकल्स आते हैं उनके भी क्वालिटी वो नहीं होती है जो वहां पे डिस्कशन की होती है, ठीक है। तो वहां से आपको बहुत सारे फाइनर नॉवल पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे, आप जॉट डाउन कर सकते हो, लेकिन आप खाली ऐसा नहीं कान में लगा के सुन लिया, उसको नोट डाउन भी करना है। क्यों? क्योंकि मेंस आपका होने वाला होगा ना, आपके पास 3 दिन बचा है, आप सिचुएशन इमेजिन करो, आपके पास 1 दिन बचा है और आपको यार पूरा पेपर 1 पेपर 2 रिवाइज करना है, तो अनटिल अनलेस कि आपके पास बड़े कंडेंस फॉर्म में नोट्स ना अवेलेबल हो तो वो पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाएगा, ठीक है। तो ट्राई टू मेक इट एज शॉर्ट एंड एज सिंपल एज पॉसिबल, ठीक है। राज्यसभा के आप जो भी देख रहे हो, राज्यसभा के न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ो, न्यूज़पेपर के नोट्स बना लो, ठीक है, लास्ट टाइम पे वो बड़े हैंडी होते हैं। राज्यसभा वीडियो देखा, उसके नोट्स बना, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं यार, मतलब मेन जो पॉइंट्स हैं 3-4 पॉइंट्स होते हैं पूरे प्रोग्राम में, आप उसको बना लो, ठीक है। एक आता है इंडियाज वर्ल्ड करके, आईआर के लिए वो काफी अच्छा प्रोग्राम है, ठीक है, इट हेल्प्स यू ड्यूरिंग द इंटरव्यू ऑल्सो, ठीक है, इंडियाज वर्ल्ड हो गया। एक आता है हिंदी में आता है सरोकार, ठीक है, वो सोशल इश्यूज के ऊपर आता है, वो काफी अच्छा प्रोग्राम मुझे लगा, ठीक है। अगर आप लोगों के पास टाइम हो तो वो भी देख लेना, ठीक है, वो वीकली आता है, वीकली है वो, हफ्ते में 1 दिन आता है, ठीक है। लेकिन देखने से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है लिखना ही इंपॉर्टेंट है। नोइंग इज समथिंग, राइटिंग इज ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट थिंग, और इस एग्जामिनेशन के लिए, मेंस के लिए राइटिंग इज एवरीथिंग, ठीक है यार। ऑलमोस्ट जितने लोग मेंस देते हैं ना, नॉलेज लेवल में मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं होता, थोड़ा बहुत होता होगा पर बहुत ज्यादा नहीं होता। डिफरेंस ये राइटिंग क्रिएट करती है, ठीक है। कौन उन पर्टिकुलर 3 घंटों में कौन कैसे लिख पा रहा है, कौन कितना लिख पा रहा है, ठीक है। राइटिंग स्पीड, कहते हैं स्पीड नहीं है यार, स्पीड ऐसे घर बैठे थोड़ी होगी यार, लिखोगे तब ना आएगी, ठीक है। आप लिखो, आंसर लिखो, जितना ज्यादा लिख सकते हो लिखो। सर है, सर तो यार मतलब इतने इजीली एक्सेसिबल रहते हैं, सर को ला करके दिखाओ, सर बताएंगे कि इसमें क्या है, फर्दर इंप्रूवमेंट आप कर सकते हो। बहुत सारी कमियां होती हैं जो कि हमें तभी पता चलेंगी ना जब हम लिखेंगे, ठीक है, वो सिर्फ घर पे बैठे नहीं पता चलेंगे, जब हम आंसर लिखेंगे ना और किसी दूसरे को, सर को दिखाएंगे, तब हमें पता चलेंगे कि यार ये तो हम कर ही नहीं रहे थे अभी तक, ये चीज मिस थी हमारे में, तो ये चीज हमें करना है, ठीक है। बाकी कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट गवर्नमेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स होते हैं, जैसा कि अभी बताया था, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे हो गया, मस्ट रीड है, ठीक है। वो प्रीलिम्स मेंस इंटरव्यू सबके लिए वो मतलब सीक्रेट डॉक्यूमेंट है, समझ लो एक तरह से, वो पढ़ना ही पढ़ना है, और 1 बार नहीं, 2 बार नहीं, 3 बार 4 बार पढ़ना है, ठीक है, ताकि वो एकदम इंटरनलाइज कर लेना है उसको। पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वालों के लिए एआरसी मस्ट है, ठीक है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म कमीशन, पंछी सर का वो कंडेंस मटेरियल है, ठीक है, वो आप लोग ले लेना, पंछी कमीशन की रिपोर्ट, वरना नेट पे भी पड़ी हुई है, ठीक है, 3-4 रिपोर्ट उसमें काम की है, ठीक है, उसको पढ़ना है। क्योंकि जब तक आप अपने आंसर्स को इन सब फैक्ट्स और कमिटीज की रिपोर्ट से जब तक सप्लीमेंट नहीं करोगे ना, नंबर नहीं आएंगे, ठीक है। जस्ट पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, अच्छा हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव ऑप्टेड फॉर पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन? अच्छा काफी कम ही लोग हैं, ठीक है तो ठीक है, पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के लिए क्या है ना कि पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में जनरल आंसर तो सभी लोग लिख लेते हैं, या जीएस के भी किसी बंदे को बैठा लोगे, जिस तरह के क्वेश्चन आजकल वो पूछ रहे हैं तो कोई बंदा लिख ही लेगा, पर आपको अपने क्वेश्चंस को फैक्ट्स फिगर्स से बाकियों से अलग करना है। क्योंकि यार 30 कॉपी अगर मान लो उसको दिन भर में चेक करनी है, तो आपकी कॉपी कुछ डिफरेंट होनी चाहिए, तभी तो आपको डिफरेंट मार्क्स भी मिलेंगे, ठीक है। तो अपने को ये चीज थोड़ा सा इंश्योर करनी है। बाकी तो यार ये है कि ये एग्जाम यार थोड़ा सा लंबा होता है, पेशेंस का टेस्ट होता है, ठीक है, और कई बार ऐसा होता है प्रिपरेशन के दौरान भी हाईज लोज आते रहते हैं, ठीक है, कोई टेस्ट दिया उसमें अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाए तो एकदम से डिप्रेस हो गए, एकदम से टेंशन में आ गए, ठीक है, तो इतना ज्यादा टेंशन नहीं लेना है, ठीक है। अगर आप ईमानदारी से काम कर रहे हो, मेहनत कर रहे हो तो एवरीथिंग विल बी ओके, ठीक है। और मतलब आपके अंदर ना इस एग्जामिनेशन की अगर आप तैयारी करो तो थोड़ा रेजिलियंस फैक्टर होना चाहिए। वो जैसे रॉकी मूवी का डायलॉग था ना कि इट डजंट मैटर हाउ हार्ड यू गेट हिट बट व्हाट मैटर्स इज दैट हाउ हार्ड यू गेट हिट एंड अगेन मूविंग फॉरवर्ड एंड यू आर अगेन मूविंग फॉरवर्ड। तो वही है कि मतलब आप कितना हिट ले सकते हो अपने ऊपर और फिर भी आपके अंदर बाउंसिंग बैक एबिलिटी है, ठीक है। तो ऑलवेज हैव दैट बाउंसिंग बैक एबिलिटी इनटू यू, ठीक है। और बाकी यार मतलब खुश रहो, हैप्पी रहो, ठीक है, ऐसा कोई टेंशन की बात नहीं है। एग्जामिनेशन अभी प्रीलिम्स कितने लोग दे रहे हैं इस बार? अच्छा चलो ठीक है, तो अब आप लोगों का तो आने वाला है टाइम ठीक है। तो बाकी तो ऑलरेडी यार सारी चीजें इंटरव्यू में यार ऐसा कुछ बहुत खास प्रिपरेशन करना नहीं होता है, उसी का एक्चुअली में इंटरव्यू तो आपकी पर्सनालिटी का टेस्ट है, तो कोई खास ऐसा प्रिपरेशन करनी नहीं रहती है। आपका जो डिटेल्ड एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म जो आप मेंस में फिलअप करते हो उसी से रिलेटेड यूजुअली क्वेश्चंस पुटअप किए जाते हैं, ठीक है। तो आपको उसको अच्छे से पढ़ना है, जो भी आपने अपने फॉर्म में लिखा है, आपकी हॉबीज क्या है, आपके इंटरेस्ट क्या है, आपकी स्कूलिंग कहाँ से हुई है, आपका होम टाउन क्या है, ये सब सारी चीज़ों के ऊपर आपको, ठीक है, पढ़ना होगा। और बस यार उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा टेंशन मतलब उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा परेशानी की ज़रूरत नहीं है, इंटरव्यू तो वैसे भी हो जाता है, ठीक है। चलो यार ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर पेशेंट लिसनिंग।
Yes, now I request Mrityunjay to share his experiences. He got into IRSIT this year.
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मैं बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा क्योंकि हमारे फ्रेंड्स ने यहाँ ऑलरेडी काफ़ी कुछ डिस्कस कर दिया है। और मैं तो सिर्फ जॉब छोड़ के नॉर्मल सी तैयारी कर रहा था। मुझसे बहुत ज़्यादा इंस्पिरेशनल स्टोरी है यहाँ पे लोगों की। कासिम भाई का 5th अटेम्प्ट था इस बार, सो आप इमेजिन कर सकते हैं कि कितनी टेंशन या प्रेशर भी दिमाग पे रह सकता है। और पूनम मैम का तो आप सुन चुके हैं, दिस इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट वंडरफुल सक्सेस स्टोरीज यू विल एवर गेट टू नो। और फिर भी 2-3 चीज़ें हैं जो मैंने यहाँ ध्यान दिया था जो शायद छूट गई हैं। एक तो ये कि आप सबने बोला कि करंट अफेयर्स अच्छे से पढ़िए और उनको ध्यान रखिए, जितना हो सके उसमें से रेलेवेंट चीज़ों के नोट्स बनाइए, आगे काम आएंगे। और पिछले सालों के पेपर का ध्यान रखिए, किस तरह से क्वेश्चंस आते हैं। एक और चीज़ है कि आप एक बार सिलेबस से भी अवेयर हो जाइए। पूरा सिलेबस आपको लाइक बाय हार्ट अवेयर होने चाहिए, एक बार याद भी कर लीजिए, पता होना चाहिए। क्योंकि अगर किसी चीज़ के बारे में न्यूज़ आ रही है तो आपको अगर पता है कि सिलेबस क्या है तो आप उसको रिलेट कर पाएंगे कि मैं इसको कहाँ डाल सकता हूँ। थोड़े दिन पहले यहाँ पे ना पबैड के लिए सर ने एक बार पहले भी मुझे बुलाया था, तब विजय भाई भी यहाँ पे थे। तब मैंने एक एग्जाम्पल बताया था क्योंकि उस समय मैंने जस्ट न्यूज़ में पढ़ा था कि स्पेन में एक जून नाम हुन बोलते हैं उसको, बट JUN उसका नाम है। एक सिटी में एक वहाँ का जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर था उसने बहुत सारा पैसा बचाया, 3 लाख यूरोज उसने बचाए एक साल में। और उसने कैसे बचाया, और प्लस एफिशिएंट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन दिया लोगों को, क्योंकि उसने सब कुछ ट्विटर के थ्रू करना शुरू कर दिया। जो भी नई अपडेट्स आती थी ट्विटर पे डालता था, लोगों की शिकायत होती थी तो वो ट्विटर से हैंडल करता था। अपने जो उसके सबॉर्डिनेट्स थे उनको भी उसने यूज करना सिखाया, ट्रेन किया, एक मशीनरी प्रॉपर तैयार की। सो अगर आपको ऐसी कोई केस स्टडी पता है कि ऐसा कुछ कहीं पे हुआ है और आपको पता है कि आपके सिलेबस में ई-गवर्नेंस है या आपके सिलेबस में लोकल गवर्नमेंट्स हैं, तो आप दोनों ही टॉपिक्स में इसको यूज कर सकते हैं एज एन एग्जाम्पल। तो क्योंकि न्यूज़पेपर में अब ऐसी एक छोटी सी चीज स्पेन के किसी गांव की बात आ रही है, हाउ वुड वी नो वेदर इट इज रेलिवेंट टू अस और नॉट। लेकिन हम अगर सिलेबस से अवेयर हैं, अगर हमें हमारा सिलेबस थॉरोली याद है तो हम ऐसी चीजों को रिलेट कर पाएंगे। सो बी थॉरो विद योर सिलेबस। और फिर कुछ चीजों को स्पॉट करना, जैसे मुझे थोड़ी सी नैक लगी थी, पवन सर एज अ नैक फॉर दिस। मैं सर की पबैड की क्लास में था तो सर ने मुझे अच्छी तरह ध्यान है 3-4 चीजों पे खास फोकस हमेशा करते थे कि प्रिविलेजेस ऑफ द मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, this is going to come sometime soon, या public private partnership, this is going to come sometime soon, jobless growth, this is going to come sometime soon। तो और वो सभी पिछले 2 साल में क्वेश्चंस आ चुके हैं उसके। सो बेसिकली अगर आपको कोई ऐसे हेल्प मिल जाए, मुझे तो सर से बहुत अच्छी मिली, आपके कोई फ्रेंड्स भी आपका ग्रुप बन जाए जो स्पॉट कर सके कि कुछ चीजें क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है, उन पे खास तौर से फोकस कीजिए। उनका 1 पेज का नोट्स, 1 पेज में उनके नोट्स बना लीजिए, सिर्फ इतना जो आप एग्जाम में लिख के आएंगे, ऑलमोस्ट 150 वर्ड्स। उससे ज्यादा अगर आपने बनाया तो वो ज़्यादा खास काम आएगा नहीं, क्योंकि वहाँ बैठ के अल्टीमेटली सोचना पड़ेगा कि उसमें से क्या लिखूँ और क्या छोड़ूँ। तो इस चीज़ का थोड़ा सा ख्याल रखिएगा, कीप इट एज कंसाइज एज पॉसिबल, ताकि रिवाइज हो सके, ताकि प्रैक्टिकली अप्लाई हो सके। उसके अलावा एक चीज़ और कि आप लोगों में से किसी का सेकंड या थर्ड अटेम्प्ट है? सेकंड अटेम्प्ट वाले? थर्ड? ओके, और बियॉन्ड दैट फोर्थ? ओके, सी आप यदि जॉब छोड़ के कर रहे हैं, जैसे आई वॉज इन अ सिमिलर पोजिशन, आई लेफ्ट माई जॉब एंड आई वॉज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दिस and I have a background of engineering from IIT, so I was overconfident. First attempt मेरा क्यों नहीं हुआ, I was overconfident कि यार मेरा तो हो ही जाएगा, मेरा नहीं होगा तो किसका होगा, और फिर रिजल्ट सामने था कि मेंस क्लियर नहीं हुआ। उसके बाद सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में आई ट्राइड कि ठीक है पढ़ाई करते हैं, और समझ में आया कि अच्छे से पढ़ना है और रिविजन भी करना है, अपनी औकात उतनी नहीं है। फिर इसलिए रिवाइज करना शुरू किया, पढ़ाई की, लेकिन तब भी जाके इंटरव्यू में नहीं हुआ, तो लास्ट ईयर बहुत हताश हुआ। फिर उसके बाद ना आपको जरूरत पड़ती है कुछ अच्छे साथियों की, अच्छे टीचर्स की, जो आपको सही समय पे गाइड करें और आपका टाइम वेस्ट ना होने दें। और उसके बाद लास्ट ईयर 4 जुलाई को रिजल्ट आया था। आई वॉज वेरी सैड, क्योंकि लाइक कासिम सेड वी वर फ्रेंड्स देन ऑल्सो, तो बहुत उम्मीद थी कि उस साल हो ही जाएगा, क्योंकि नंबर लास्ट टाइम के मुकाबले 150 नंबर ज्यादा आ रहे थे, बट कट ऑफ भी 125 नंबर ऊपर चली गई, तो उस साल भी कुछ नहीं आया। तो इसीलिए उसके बाद फिर अच्छी गाइडेंस मिली, हेल्प मिली। मैं तो पवन सर के पास, कासिम और मैं साथ में ही आए थे, तो उन्होंने मुझे हेल्प किया। और फिर मेरे एक और टीचर भी हैं जो स्कूल में पहले पढ़ाते थे, घर पे जब मैं था वो मेरे पास आए, डेली आके हेल्प करते थे। सो हैविंग अ गुड टीचर ऑलवेज पेज ऑफ, ही इज अ वेरी गुड गाइडेंस। और उसके अलावा मेक अ ग्रुप ऑफ फ्यू ऑफ यू जो आपकी हमेशा हेल्प कर सकें, जो आप जिनके साथ आप डिस्कस कर सकें चीज़ों को। और उसके अलावा आपके कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं तो आप पूछ लीजिए, वरना और कुछ नया ऐसा बचा नहीं है जो मैं आपको बताऊं। हाँ, यस, थैंक यू।
Now I request Ninika. She got into Indian Information Service in her first attempt. This year she got into customs, and I requested her to share her experiences.
Okay, very good afternoon to everyone. I know you've heard a lot of the experiences before from my colleagues. So in very short, I'll just share what I did differently. In the first year, I had lost, that was actually my second attempt. जैसे ये अपनी कहानियाँ बता रहे हैं, मैं भी 2012 में काफ़ी साल से सोच रही थी कि मैं अटेम्प्ट करूँगी, but I didn't have the courage. So 1 year I just decided let me go write prelims without any preparation, and I missed the cutoff by a few marks. So I said maybe if I study and dedicate an entire year, I'll be able to clear this. So after completing my masters, that's when I took a year off to study. And in my first year in general studies, I didn't score well, primarily because I blindly followed coaching notes. मैंने जहाँ से कोचिंग ली थी जनरल स्टडीज की, किसी ने बोला था कि वही 2-3 बारी पढ़ लो, बस इतना ही आता है, you should know that very well. But the nature of the paper is very different now, like stated already by Shalini earlier, that it's very current affairs based, it's very dynamic. So you have to evolve your preparation accordingly. That is something that I had not done sufficiently. उस साल मैं Insights on India में काफ़ी लिखती थी, but उसमें मुझे एक drawback लगता था कि मुझे feedback नहीं मिला था कभी. I always thought my answers were very good, but clearly they were not good enough for what is expected in the exam. So what I did differently in my third attempt is that I took the syllabus as my framework, कि ये है मेरा universe. जैसे कि अगर आप GS2 का देख रहे हैं तो historical understanding कैसे evolve हो रहा है, and you define your sources कि कहाँ से पढ़ना है. Simultaneously जब आप newspaper पढ़ रहे हैं, Indian Express और हिंदू दोनों रेफर करा था in the second year, even in the first year, because I have public administration as my optional, so that's mandatory for preparation. तो आप keep the framework at the back of your head and keep defining कि ये topic, ये एग्जाम्पल इसके अंदर आ सकता है. जैसे कि अभी दिल्ली का इशू चल रहा है, सो आर्टिकल 239 AA becomes important, so you put that into that bracket. या रिसेंटली प्रेसिडेंट्स रूल हुआ था इन उत्तराखंड, तो वो भी आप डाल दीजिए. तो आप टू अ सर्टेन एक्सटेंट यू कैन एंटिसिपेट कौन कौन से क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं. ईच वन ऑफ अस वुड बी वेरी गुड एट दैट कि हाँ ये पूरी लिस्ट है, बट व्हाट डू यू डू विद दैट लिस्ट? दैट्स समथिंग दैट आई हैव टू आल्सो वर्क ऑन. कि जब आप वो लिस्ट बना दे, सर ने भी एक लिस्ट बनाई थी स्पेशली फॉर GS2 एंड GS3, तो आप उस लिस्ट को बड़े प्रोएक्टिवली उसके जैसे पहले कहा गया है 1 पेज या 150 वर्ड्स 200 वर्ड्स का आंसर प्रिपेयर करके रखिए. बिकॉज यू नो कि ये टॉपिक्स तो इस साल में इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, जैसे कि यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड यू कुड एंटिसिपेट आने वाला है, ऑर्डिनेंस पता था आने वाला है, तो देयर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स यू नो, बट अगर आप क्वेश्चन को भी देखेंगे इट्स आस्किंग फॉर द नेक्स्ट लेवल. इट्स नॉट ओनली सेइंग कि यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड आना चाहिए नहीं आना चाहिए, व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स, क्यों नहीं आ सकता. सो यू हैव टू स्ट्रक्चर योर प्रिपरेशन अकॉर्डिंगली इन अ प्रोएक्टिव वे. सिमिलरली जो ऑर्डिनेंस का क्वेश्चन था, इट वाज नॉट कि लाइक क्या क्या केस जजमेंट्स हैं, बट ऑर्डिनेंस को रिपील करना चाहिए कि नहीं. सो यू हैव टू थिंक फ्रॉम अ वेरी फंडामेंटल लेवल कि ये क्यों प्रोविजन आई थी इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस, सो हैज इट लॉस्ट इट्स रेलेवेंस. So you have to think in that respect as well. One thing that I did for paper 3, जहाँ पे मेरा score substantially improve हुआ था last year से, was read economic survey diligently and collect facts as has been stated before. Keep your facts ready कि economic distribution कैसी है, कौन से sector में कहाँ है, so that you can cite it at the right place and the right time. That's something that you should do. Definitely practice answer writing because that's very crucial in time management and also understanding कि आप कैसे prioritize करते हैं, तो वो पूरी exercise आपको पहले करनी चाहिए, ऐसा बोला गया है पहले already. And I switched to online notes. मैंने previous year फाइलें बनाई थी like a typical, of course वो government type experience आपको हो जाएगा क्योंकि you're dealing with lots of paperwork और आप इधर से उधर कर रहे हो, but it could be time wise you could lose a lot of time on that. So I used Evernote this year. तो उसमें advantage ये होती है कि जैसे ही मुझे कुछ ढूंढना है मैं फट से उसको Control F करके I can just find it quickly. So I don't have to recall कि वो कौन सी फाइल में कहाँ पड़ा हुआ था. So that helped me. But of course then you have to balance it with some answer writing practice क्योंकि there's no substitute for the speed that you'll get by writing by hand. So that's something that you have to do. In terms of content, one more thing that I can add is that All India Radio पे शाम को 15 मिनट की जो news analysis आता है related to current affairs, that's something you can complement with your big picture Rajya Sabha TV. उसमें भी experts को बुलाते हैं, छोटा 15 मिनट का होता है, and it's a good capsule to be able to understand current affairs properly. That's something that you can do. अगर आप if you can't catch it, 9:15 को आता है हर शाम को, तो वो archive कर देते हैं. And these days, I think many websites are archiving that as well. So that's something you should do. So that's it. Thank you.
Now, if you have any questions to our successful candidates, you can ask. Or before, having this question answer session, let me tell you briefly how to go about your preparation for general studies. For those who are writing prelims now and for those who will be writing next year. One thing that you must remember is that while preparing for this examination, whatever the syllabus that UPSC gives in its on its website or whatever the syllabus that UPSC mentions, it is only indicative in nature. They can always go beyond the syllabus. So whatever the syllabus they give, it is only indicative and it is not exhaustive. So what you have to do is that to be successful in this examination, what is required is you must have that zeal to keenness to understand how your country is functioning from political point of view, from administrative point of view, from cultural point of view, from historical point of view, from geographical point of view. You must know how your country is running. If the growth rate is this year 7.5%, why it is increasing at 7.5% per annum? If we have political instability in some of the small states, what is the reason why there is political instability? Because we have this problem of anti-defection law. We have governors who have huge amount of discretionary, speakers of assemblies who have huge amount of discretionary powers. So what you are expected to do is that you must be able to keenly observe what is happening in and around you. This examination does not require anything. It requires only one thing. You should be able to open your eyes and ears all the time. Nothing else. See what is happening in around you and start asking the questions. Why it is happening? Why it is happening? Okay, there are some regions in the country which are experiencing heavy rise. There are some regions where they experience severe drought. The questions will be asked. Okay. Similarly, there are some regions in the country which are prone to more earthquakes, while some regions are not. So they are asking mostly the questions which you see in your day-to-day life. They will ask only those kind of questions. They will ask questions why there is so much of corruption in our country. They will ask questions why India is so poor and underdeveloped. They will ask questions why we have jobless growth. They will ask questions why our parliament is not functioning. And they will ask questions why women in our country are not empowered. They will ask the questions why we are not able to shed the colonial attitude of our bureaucracy. This is what they will be asking, whether it is history, geography, polity, economy, science and technology. Anything is only related to our day-to-day life. So if you are able to empathize with what is happening in and around you, then you will definitely clear this examination. The most important thing that is required for this examination, you must be able to enjoy your preparation. That is very, very required. That is very, very much important. If you treat this preparation as some kind of a burden, you will never clear this examination. What is required is that you must have that eagerness to learn new things. Our education system is such that you know something about something, you don't know everything about something, or you don't know everything about everything. For a student from science background, he cannot differentiate between fiscal deficit and revenue deficit. For a student from economics background, he cannot differentiate between the rule of Akbar and Aurangzeb. Why? Because they don't study those things. What UPSC wants you is to learn these things from the perspective of a common man, because our life is impacted by all these things. Our life is impacted by our politicians. So that is the reason why they have included polity governance. Our life is impacted by the kind of economic system you have. That is the reason why you have economy. Our life is impacted by the security conditions. That is the reason why they have included internal security. And we have seen in recent times many disasters, both natural and man-made. And that's why they have included disaster management. And for everything in life, what is required is values. But the only difference between human beings and animals is that animals have some better values. Sorry, maybe whatever you think. Whatever you think. Okay. The only difference is that human beings have values where animals don't have. But if you look people like what is the lady who killed her daughter, Indrani Mukherjee, you believe that animals are better. You know about that case of Indrani Mukherjee. That will be asked in your this year's ethics paper. They will only ask these kind of questions. They will ask nothing else. They will not ask questions from Mars. They will ask questions about what is happening in and around you. And if you have that eagerness to learn the things, you will definitely clear this examination. And another thing that you have to remember for your general studies preparation is that nothing is independent or isolated. Any event has its origins in different sectors. For example, economic reforms. We have introduced economic reforms 25 years back. Obviously, this year who are writing the prelims as well as mains, who are expected to write mains, you can have a lot of questions on economic reforms. So why did we introduce reforms? Did the economic reforms succeed or not? If they have not succeeded, where they have not succeeded? If they have failed, why they have failed? That is what is economics, nothing else. Similarly, political reforms, administrative reforms, and similarly problems related to internal security, Naxalism or terrorism. Why we are not able to cope them? Why we are not able to get hold of these anti-social elements? That is what they will be asking. Recently, I have seen in Hyderabad they have caught so many people IS sympathizers. What is the reason why IS is also spreading to India? The question will be asked as part of your internal security. Last year the question was asked, in fact. That is what they will be asking. They will not be asking anything which you don't know. But the only thing is that you must be able to go to the root of the issue, find out what exactly is the problem, and more importantly, try to learn things from a fool's perspective, not an intelligent man's perspective. From a fool's perspective, what do you mean by that? A foolish person is the one who cannot understand things which are complicated. So make things as simple as they can be, as simple as they should be. If the prices are going up in India, if food inflation is very high, why? Think from a common man's perspective, you will get the answers. If some states are developed and some are not developed, why we don't have a balanced regional development? Again, think from a common man's perspective. What are the reasons why some states are developed and most of them are not developed? The questions will be asked. What are the reasons why we are not able to ensure accountability of our politicians? The questions will be asked. That is what UPSC is demanding from you. They are not demanding from you the brain of Einstein and the analytical mind of someone like Aristotle. They want you to have a simple brain with a simple knowledge, and what is required is clarity in your thought process. That is the most important thing. The reason why some people get very good marks, some people don't get marks, is that those who do not get marks write answers in a very complicated manner, which is difficult for anyone to understand. The examiner does not have the time to read and understand your answers. He will not. Why? Because every day he has to evaluate at least 30-40 answer sheets. Each answer sheet 80 pages. You can imagine how many pages he has to read in a day. So obviously you have to make life easier for the person who is evaluating your answers. And for that, you can write simple answers only when you can understand the things in a simple manner. And start asking the question why. That is what I always say, that everything, that is what you study in philosophy. All the subjects are the same. Every event that happens in this world, always there is a reason behind it. Nothing happens in the world without any reason, and try to find out the reason. Once you know the reasons, you can always come out with solutions. And as I said, enjoy your preparation. Whenever if you are reading geography, it's a very interesting subject. Same is the case with history, one of the most interesting subjects. And same is the case with economics, highly analytical. And polity, very interesting, because that is what you see in your day-to-day life, center-state relations. What is the reason why Arvind Kejriwal is complaining against Narendra Modi? Center-state relations. Okay, what is the reason why states are demanding more finances from the central government? What is the reason why states are demanding more functional autonomy from the central government? Why are we moving towards cooperative federalism? So these things are not difficult to understand, provided you have interest in it. Unless you develop interest in all these things, even science and technology, the kind of question that UPSC is asking in science and technology, most of them are application oriented, day-to-day application. This is what they want to see from you. Whether the qualification for this examination is graduation. A graduate should be able to understand how his country is functioning, especially in a country like India, where there is so much of diversity. There is no correlation, there is no similarity between, say, Kerala and Kashmir, even though both of them are part of India. India is a country of continental proportions with so much of diversity. What is the reason why India is able to ensure integrity? You take the case of European Union, already it is disintegrating. What is the reason why we are able to ensure unity and integrity, why other countries are not? Compared to India, European Union is a small continent, the entire European Union, Europe. The diversity is also not as much as India has. What is the reason why India is able to ensure unity and integrity? That is what UPSC will ask you from you. What is the reason why you require unity? For example, take a small thing like Uniform Civil Code. It has historical aspects, it has political aspects, it has administrative aspects, it has cultural aspects. If you cover all these aspects in your answer, the answer is over. Historically, India is a multi-religious country. You have different religions, different ethics, ethical, different ethnic groups are there. So much of diversity is there. Each religion has its own traditions and customs. So historically, India is a country which is highly diverse. Politically, political parties always made this Uniform Civil Code a sensitive political issue. Administratively, you are basically talking about ensuring equality before law. That is what rule of law says. If I have to write answer for this one, I will start with rule of law. Rule of law demands equality before law. But when you don't have Uniform Civil Code, then you have different laws for different religions. Okay, that comes the cultural aspects. So if you look at any event, you must be able to look at the event from a very systems perspective, from a macro perspective, because that event has a relation to all the other systems. Any issue, for example, you take the case of a jobless growth. Why India we have jobless growth? Historical reasons, because the Britishers have ruled India for 250 years. and they have deliberately made sure that Indian small scale industry is being destroyed. Historical reasons. Okay. So I will start with historical reasons. And then after 1991 liberalization, economic growth had taken place without creating employment. Why? Because the entire growth was concentrated in the service sector, tertiary sector, where the employment potential is very less. Okay, very simple. The answer is simple. So what is required for this examination is common sense. You require common sense. Common sense. How do we define common sense? Common sense means being able to understand the problem in front of you and coming out with solutions. The administration is all about common sense. All of you are going to be administrators. Being able to understand the problem and coming out with solutions. And that is what preparation. And one more thing, as all of them also have pointed out, you must be able to find out the interlinkages. As even Shalini also said, and Anupam and all of them have clearly mentioned, never try to read GS as a paper 1, 2, 3 or 4. Nothing like that. All of them are interrelated. History is related to geography, which is related to polity, which influences economy, which all of them are influenced by ethics. So as long as you prepare for this examination in a compartment wise, like when you think that you are studying history only, so there is no polity. What is history? What is history? What do you study in history? Is history about events? Definitely not. It does not really matter when did Akbar come to power and when did he die. What really matters is what he has done. So history is nothing but polity and economy and administration combined together. Yes? What happened at that point of time? What was the political system we had? What was the economic system? What was the administrative system? What was the social system? That is what is history. If you study history from that point of view, you will master history. On the other hand, if you study history like events, Ashoka had taken birth in this year, he married in this year, he married 2000 times, not required. These kind of things are not required. It does not require, it is not required. That is what is required for this examination. You must know what you have to study, how you have to study, how much you have to study, more importantly, whether you are able to understand what you are studying. You need that analytical bent of mind. As I said, start from a fool's perspective. Start from a base of 0, saying that you don't know anything. Then try to learn the things. Everything will become very interesting. History will be as interesting as sciences, and sciences will be as interesting as ethics. All of them. But what is required is that you want your ability to, your willingness to learn new things. Once you are able to do this, you can easily clear this examination. And always believe that, always say that to clear this examination you don't require more than one attempt, provided you know how to prepare for this examination. What is the reason why it takes people time to clear this examination? Because most of the time, either they don't prepare the way they should prepare, or they don't know how to prepare. So what you have to do is that don't prepare from the examination point of view, prepare from the point of view of learning new things. That then you will easily clear this examination. And more importantly, once you learn something, how do I know that you have learned those things? How do I know? Either if I ask you the questions, you will be able to answer. That is interview. But can the UPSC have this kind of interview for 5 days for 10 lakh people? It is not possible. That is the reason why the only way whether I know whether you have the necessary knowledge or not is through main examination, written examination. You must have very good writing skills. You will have good writing skills only when you have good understanding skills. When you understand the things in a simple manner, you will write the things also in a simple manner. It is as simple as that one. That is what I always tell my students also. It is easy to complicate things. It is difficult to make things simple. That is the reason why those who write very simple answers, those who write very clear cut answers, you can see answers of whether it is Shalini or Anupam or the Vijay. If you look at all their answers, what you can see is that kind of simplicity. Once you see their answers, you see think that you can also write these answers far better than them. The answers are so simple. But the most difficult thing is writing those kind of simple answers. Very to the point, precise. What is required is clarity, precision and simplicity. This is what UPSC is demanding from you. They are not demanding what you call the brain of Einstein. That's what I keep on saying. And if that is the case, nobody would qualify for this examination. What is not required for this examination is intelligence. What is required for this examination is common sense. And you develop this common sense only by observing the things. You must be a keen observer of what is happening in and around you and asking the question why it is happening. Even now also you can see in the last 2 days the BJP government, the present government, it has said that it will bring in a uniform civil code, and you can watch so many discussions and debates on television, news channels and newspapers about for and against this UCC. And once you listen to them, listen to both the sides and frame your own opinion, that is where your analytical bent of mind will come into picture. And this preparation is not a stopgap one, it has to be continuous. From the morning, as I said, that from the morning you get up till the time you sleep, you are only preparing, you are in the preparation mode only. That means whatever you see, try to ask the question. For example, Delhi is the most polluted city in India. Why? Commonsensical thing. Where do you find where do you find most pollution? Where do you find? In a commonsensical question, why Delhi is the most polluted city? Because for the simple reason that Delhi has more number of vehicles than all other metros combined together. Yesterday I was just reading the newspaper. It is said that the power consumption in Delhi is twice that of Bombay, and it is 3 times more than Chennai and Calcutta combined together. And so these kind of facts will make your answers qualitatively superior to other people. But you have to read these things. Why only read 2 newspapers? Read 3 newspapers. Your preparation for this examination starts and ends with the newspaper reading. Read the 3 newspapers. Where whatever the coaching you attend, the contribution of coaching is only 20%. Remaining 80% has to come from you. You have to do the things. Whether you want to, do the things or not is for you to decide. But you have to do the things on your own. If you want to succeed, nobody can stop you. It is as simple as that one. But what is required is that kind of determination. As you can see Qasim and others, they have been consistently preparing. That kind of burning desire should be there to succeed. Sometimes you may not succeed because this examination has a lot of ifs and buts, and the most important thing that is needed for this examination is luck. Obviously you require a lot of luck, whether it is in prelims or mains or interview, you need that kind of luck. So, but luck will come to you only when you are hardworking. That is very, very important. When you are hardworking, it will definitely come to you. There is no question. You take the case of Poonam. She started her career as a school teacher, and now you can see where she had what she has achieved. What is required is hard work. What is required is hard work, in spite of having so many difficulties. And I'm sure you are not having any of the kind of problems. And if you are not succeeding, you have no one else to blame but yourself. Okay? And that is what is important for this examination. You must have that burning desire. That is what in English also they say that if you want to succeed, the entire world will conspire to get you what you want. And you must remember those things. Okay? And enjoy your preparation. The most important thing is whatever you read, enjoy your preparation. Try to learn new things. Why should one have values? The question. What happens when people don't have values? That is what is ethics. Okay. What are the weaknesses of parliamentary form of government? That is polity. Okay. What is the reason why if farmers are committing suicide? Economy. Okay. What is the reason why eastern part of our country has more floods compared to the western part? Geography. And that is what you should know. What is the reason why Britishers were able to rule India for 250 years? History. How could they rule India for 250 years? No other dynasty had ruled India for such long period of time. What could be the reason? That is history. Okay. So there is not much of a difference between all these things, provided if you understand things from a macro perspective, and that is what is required for this examination. You don't have to read too much. You can never get a knowledge by reading books. By reading books you will get only information but not knowledge. Knowledge you have to develop on your own by observing the things. That is the difference between a successful person and a failure. So with these words I will conclude my lecture, and you can ask questions to our successful candidates here if you have any questions. Any questions? How to minimize negative marks in prelims? Anyone? Whom do you want to answer? How to minimize the negative marks in prelims? Anyone? Yeah. Hey, Qasim, I think he is a prelims expert. Yes, Qasim.
Not exactly a prelim expert, sir, but try to.
No, it does not mean that he does not know about me.
एलिमिनेट करने की कोशिश करो यार ऑप्शंस, ठीक है. ऑप्शंस में ऐसा होगा ना कि 4 ऑप्शन मान लो दिए हैं या 3 ऑप्शंस दिए हैं, तो उसमें से एक ना एक ऑप्शन ऐसा जरूर देते हैं, वो जनरलाइज स्टेटमेंट देते हैं जो कि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम गलत होता है, ठीक है. और ये आपको पता कैसे चलेगा कि कौन सा ऑप्शन गलत है? देखते साथ ना वेरी फर्स्ट मोमेंट आपके दिमाग में घंटी बजनी चाहिए यार कि ये ऑप्शन लग रहा है गलत है. और वो कैसे होगा? जब आप पिछले 4-5 साल का पेपर कम से कम 10 बार देखोगे, ठीक है, उनके आंसर देखो. देखो एक ट्रेंड है यार यूपीएससी का, क्योंकि मैं दे रहा हूं लगातार तो थोड़ा आइडिया है. आप देखो आप देखोगे ना तो आपको पता चलेगा. आप अभी आपके पास टाइम है, फिर भी 7 अगस्त को प्रीलिम्स है, आप घर जाओ, ठीक है, आप पेपर डाउनलोड करो. सिर्फ 5 साल के 2011 ऑनवर्ड्स, उसके पहले का पैटर्न बिल्कुल अलग था, ठीक है, प्रीलिम्स का भी मेंस का भी. 2011 वाज वाटरशेड, ठीक है. तो आप वहां से देखो, एलिमिनेट करना है. एलिमिनेट अगर आप सही एलिमिनेशन टैक्टिक सीख गए ना तो दैट विल क्रिएट ए डिफरेंस ऑफ एटलीस्ट 30 to 35 मार्क्स. आई एम टेलिंग यू दैट. 100 और 130 मार्क्स में सिर्फ इसी चीज का फर्क है कि वो उस आदमी को कितना सही पता है कि कैसे एलिमिनेट करना है ऑप्शन. पता उसको भी आंसर नहीं है, पता इसको भी नहीं है. एक बंदे के 100 आएंगे, एक बंदे के 140 आएंगे, ठीक है. एलिमिनेट करना सीखना है और वो आप खुद की प्रैक्टिस से ही सीख पाओगे, ठीक है. कोई कोचिंग वाला नहीं बता पाएगा आपको, कोई टीचर नहीं बता पाएगा. आप खुद रूम पे बैठो, आप पेपर डाउनलोड करो, आंसर डाउनलोड करो, पेपर देखो, आंसर देखो, ओवर एंड ओवर आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि कैसे चीजें. इकोनॉमिक्स से कुछ ऐसे इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ का क्वेश्चन है. अब याद है वो 4-5 बार हर साल यूपीएससी का पर्सनल फेवरेट है इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ, और उसका हर बार आंसर होता है ऑल ऑफ द अबव, ठीक है. तो अगली बार वेरीवर यू विल सी इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ ऑल ऑफ द अबव मारना. हमेशा नहीं होता, पर ये कि एक ट्रेंड है तो मतलब थोड़ा सा आइडिया लग जाता है भाई, ठीक है. आंसर गलत होने की प्रोबेबिलिटी कम हो जाएगी ना इससे. मान लो कि ऐसे एकदम से तुक्का, रैंडम तुक्का मारोगे तो गलत होने की प्रोबेबिलिटी बहुत ज्यादा है. और थोड़ा बहुत अगर आपको आइडिया है तो ठीक है, गलत होगा. पर अगर मान लो 4 तुक्के मारोगे तो उसमें से एक गलत होगा, 3 तो सही होंगे, ठीक है. तो आपको ये इंश्योर करना है, ठीक है. तो एनीवन एल्स? हाँ,
जब आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, टेस्ट लिख रहे हो प्रीलिम्स के लिए, तो देखो कि कितने ऑप्शंस पता है. आउट ऑफ 4 अगर लग रहा है कि यार 3-4 ही नहीं पता है, दैट मीन्स यू हैव लैक ऑफ नॉलेज इन दैट एरिया. तो वहां पढ़ना पड़ेगा तुम्हें. फिर ऐसा लग रहा है कि यार 2 ऑप्शंस में कंफ्यूजन है, दैट मीन्स रिविजन लैकिंग. ये 2-3 चीजें हैं जो मतलब आप कंटिन्यूस प्रैक्टिस से करोगे तो एलिमिनेट कर सकते हो, जैसे बताया, और नेगेटिव मार्क्स कम कर सकते हो.
What are the things that you should come while choosing an optional? Okay, this is, people have different criteria, but normally whenever you're looking at an optional, you see whether you have aptitude for it or not. For example, if you are from science background, if you look at your own subjects in your graduation, see whether you are comfortable with them. If you are comfortable with them, you can take them. Otherwise, then look for other things. What is the optional that can? First condition is whether that optional will be able to help you in your general studies or not. Because if you are preparing for your optional, it should have some kind of help in your general studies. That is one thing. And second thing is whether you have the aptitude for that optional or not. Third thing is syllabus. If optional has a huge amount of syllabus, then you will be spending a lot of time on optional only. Then you will not have much time on your GS preparation. So to look at these three things and then you can select the optional. How to make notes from coaching study material? Anyone can answer because I give study material, I don't make notes. Okay, so how to make notes from study material? Anyone can answer? Did you ever make any notes first of all? Yes.
कोचिंग के नोट्स जो हैं वो तो ऑलरेडी शॉर्ट फॉर्म में आते हैं. मतलब किस पर्टिकुलर एरिया की बात कर रहे हो आप? किस पर्टिकुलर एरिया की बात कर रहे हो? हिस्ट्री. अब हिस्ट्री के तो यार मैं तो यही सजेस्ट करूंगा पहले स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स से स्टार्ट करो. मतलब इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग फॉर द कोचिंग मटेरियल वो उसी को रिवाइज करो. उसके फिर खुद से शॉर्ट नोट, मतलब खुद से शॉर्ट नोट बनाओगे तो वो ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा. वो ज्यादा जल्दी याद रहेगा, चाहे वो हिस्ट्री हो गया, पॉलिटी हो गया, फिर मैं चाहता हूं कि आप उसको पढ़ के, क्योंकि हिस्ट्री, पॉलिटी, ज्योग्राफी, इकोनॉमिक्स जैसे चार चीजें बताइए इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, ये इनको खुद से पढ़ के आप इनको शॉर्टन आउट करो. तो उसमें आप जो एनालिसिस जो वाला पार्ट है वो करोगे तो वो ज्यादा याद रहेगा, ज्यादा रिटेन्ड रहेगा. वरना मतलब कोचिंग वाले ने जो उसको छोटा किया है वो मैं चाहता हूं आप करें, जिससे कि आपको जल्दी याद रहे, इनफैक्ट देर तक याद रहे, ज्यादा देर तक. जैसे एथिक्स वाला है, जो एथिक्स का मेरे को स्टैंडर्ड सोर्सेज नहीं मिल रहे थे कहां से पढ़ना है, तो मैंने सर के नोट्स रेफर किए. तो मैं सर की क्लास भी आया, देखा तो वो ऑलरेडी शॉर्टेंड थे, और फिर उसके साथ एक दो बुक्स तो रेफर की नहीं बिकॉज टेक्निकलिटीज आ गई थी. पता चल गया भाई न्यूज़पेपर से ही एग्जांपल्स कोट वगैरह करने हैं, एग्जांपल से रिलेट करने हैं, तो वो एक बार स्ट्रेटेजी पता चल जाती है तो वो ही बेसिकली इंपॉर्टेंट रहती है. फिर नहीं, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि अब कौन से कोचिंग
वाजीराम का नोट्स पढ़ेंगे तो आपको बाद में बनाना पड़ेगा, वो नोट सिलेक्शन नहीं होगा. ठीक है सर. यूपीएससी में नोट्स बाय डेफिनेशन, यहाँ पे नोट्स की डेफिनेशन दूसरी है. यहाँ पे नोट्स का मतलब है आपके अपने वर्ड्स में आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्या है, और आई कैन बेट कि जो आप नोट्स में इस तरह से करते हैं अगर अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग से, तो यू विल प्रोड्यूस इन एग्जाम द सेम थिंग. वही लाइन्स आपको याद आएंगी. तो जो नोट्स है उसका डेफिनेशन आपको पता चल गया. अपने वर्ड्स में, अपने कन्वीनियंस से. मुझे 2 वर्ड में मैं बिल्कुल शॉर्ट हैंड नोट्स बनाता हूँ. मेरे कोई फ्रेंड्स लोग को भी सब नोट्स मांग के लेगा क्या यार क्या दे दिया ये, तो मेरा कन्वीनियंस है उसमें, मैं उसमें जो है घंटे में जो पूरा अपना वो 2-3 A4 साइज में करके कर सकता हूँ. तो आपका क्या कन्वीनियंस लेवल है और आपकी क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग है वो नोट्स होती है. आप 1 पैराग्राफ को आप 1 लाइन में कर सकते हैं, मेरी नहीं है, मैं 2 लाइन में कर सकता हूँ. वो मेरी नोट्स हो गई, वो आपकी. मेरे को आपको नहीं समझ में आएगी, आपको मेरी. अगर आप ये फंडामेंटल लेके चलेंगे तो फिर वाजीराम किसी भी राम की नोट्स हो तो वो आपको क्लियर रहेगा ये चीज़. कंसाइज से फिर रेलिवेंस आ जाएगा ना, क्या रेलिवेंट है. 5 पॉइंट उसने दिया है, आपको क्या रेलिवेंट लग रहा है. यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन कहाँ से पूछ रही है, फिर वही फुल सर्कल. आपने प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन किया, वहाँ से आपने एरियाज आइडेंटिफाई, कुछ चीज़ें बेसिक होती हैं. कब हुआ, कॉजेज, जैसा कि विजय ने बोला, कॉजेज, कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, कुछ इंटर रिलेशंस, ये तो बेसिक है ना, ये तो आप बनाओगे. फिर अगर कहीं से आपको कोई नया डायमेंशन नजर आता है उसके शॉर्ट नोट बना दो, अच्छा ये भी एक डायमेंशन है, इस पर बस 1 लाइन 2 लाइन कर लो बस, अगर उस पर क्वेश्चन आता है तो. जैसे पानीपत वाला क्वेश्चन था उस बार, तो उसमें कहीं से कुछ लिखा नहीं था, बट पानीपत के बारे में अगर आपको बेसिक पॉइंट पता है कि उसकी ज्योग्राफी क्या है तो आप बता सकते हो कि प्लेन्स था वहाँ पे, साइंटिफिक वेस्टर्न फ्रंटियर की हमेशा से तलाश थी, तो ये सब हो सकता है. आई थिंक ये अगर इसको लेकर चलोगे तो आप. एक चीज़ मैं उसमें ऐड करना उसमें भूल गया था, एक टर्म देता हूँ ऐसे ही, मतलब एंकर. आपको अपने करंट के आंसर्स को कहीं ना कहीं एंकर करना होगा. तो हम लोग ऐसे उसमें टर्म बोलते थे कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एंकर. मतलब अगर कोई भी क्वेश्चन है, अगर जैसे कि यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड का है, अगर उसमें आप आर्टिकल कोड करते हो, जैसे सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट पढ़ो, वो हमेशा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से लेके करती है, उसी से सारी चीज़ें जस्टिफाई और गवर्न होती हैं, इवन आपके पॉलिटी गवर्नेंस में. अगर आप उसको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में एंकर कर सको या किसी हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट या हिस्टोरिकल इवेंट से एंकर कर सको तो आंसर में आपके वेट आ जाएगा और एक जो है थ्रेड जो है बना रहेगा उसमें. तो ट्राई टू एंकर योर आंसर इनटू समथिंग बेसिक लाइक फ्रॉम पॉलिटी और हिस्ट्री. This I wanted to add. फिर वही सिंपल, बी सिंपल. इंट्रोडक्शन मीन्स इंट्रोडक्शन.
introduction to your answer. That is the full phrase. It's not the introduction to the question, it's introduction to your answer. So what you are going to write or what you feel, फर्स्ट ये आपको समझ में आ गया. हम लोग पबैट में ऑप्शनल बोलते हैं कि इंट्रोडक्शन का मतलब होता है कि यू अंडरस्टूड द क्वेश्चन. मैं उसको नहीं मानता. इंट्रोडक्शन मीन्स द फुल फ्रेज इज इंट्रोडक्शन टू माई आंसर इज दिस. तो हाउ आर यू इंट्रोड्यूसिंग योर आंसर? आई थिंक एम आई क्लियर नो? सो इंट्रोड्यूस द आंसर. यू मे टेक 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines. 4 इज मैक्सिमम. डोंट सॉरी आस्क एनी क्वेश्चन. यार मैं पबैट के आंसर जो है हमेशा कोट से शुरू करता था. कोई पेपर 2 का आया तो सपोज पब्लिक ओपिनियन पे आया, तो जो फादर ऑफ पबैट है विल्सन, मैं विल्सन के स्टेटमेंट को कोट करता था कि पब्लिक ओपिनियन पे उसने एक स्टेटमेंट दिया था कि इट इज़ मल्टीट्यूडनस मोनार्क. इस तरह से दिया था कि मतलब वो एनार्की लाता है. ठीक है, तो मैं अगर पब्लिक ओपिनियन के पॉजिटिव या नेगेटिव पे करता, जैसे कि अन्ना हजारे हुआ था तो उन्होंने प्रेशराइज किया था काफ़ी, तो उस समय अगर मैं लिखता तो मैं विल्सन को कोट करता पबैट में कि पबैट विल्सन ने लॉन्ग बैक उसने हमें वार्न किया था कि पब्लिक ओपिनियन एक लिमिट के बाद डेमोक्रेसी में एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म को स्लो करता है और इट्स हर्टिंग रेदर देन हेल्पिंग एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. तो मैं उसको वहाँ से शुरू करता. दिस इज माई इंट्रोडक्शन. व्हाट डज इट मीन कि हमें हिस्टोरिकल पर्सपेक्टिव पता है और हमारा पंच लाइन भी हो गया, ये अट्रैक्टिव हो गया. आई थिंक नॉट मेनी पीपल वुड राइट दिस, क्योंकि हमारा अपना इंटर रिलेशन है, सोच के जो एनालिसिस से आएगा ये, और हमारा रेलिवेंट है, मोस्ट रेलिवेंट है. इज द फाउंडिंग फादर ऑफ पबैट, ही टॉक्ड अबाउट इट. दिस इज द मोस्ट रेलिवेंट एंड आई इंट्रोड्यूस माई आंसर. इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट हार्म, ही लॉन्ग बैक सेड दिस. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द एग्जाम्पल्स आई कैन से. बैकग्राउंड के लिए टाइम कहाँ? अब तो 10-15 नंबर क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, बैकग्राउंड का वो चला गया ना. टाइम्स हैव चेंज्ड, सी चेंज. 60 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चन आते थे, अगर आप उस लेवल से पढ़ोगे तो इट वुड बी डिफिकल्ट. 10 मार्क्स, 15 मार्क्स बी, मतलब हिट द नेल ऑन इट्स हेड. एनीथिंग, एनी क्लैरिफिकेशन? Sorry, I didn't get a question. Yeah, very easily. Actually, long back, like 5-10 years back, you could not have, I could not have answered this question in affirmative, because then you had to read everything. Now it's very, very easy. Even 6 months, na? The Rachit Raj, he is my some sort of distant relative. So I know him very well. When he started, what he did, when he cried, when he thought I would not get selected, and when he got 3rd rank. So after seeing him, even I got confident. So you can very well do. The answer to your question is yes, you can do it in one. Yes. There is this Brainy Quotes website. You will get 5 website. I can put it on my this thing search website, and you can get. Just enjoy it, yeah. Like 1-2 quotes a daily. I mean, if you look around, all the politicians, everyone, जो successful हैं, वही अंदाज़े बयां वाली बात है. How you present things in your answer decides your fate. और अंदाज़े में अच्छा करना है तो कोट्स या कुछ भी आप मैं क्रिएट कर सकता हूँ. यू गिव मी अ टॉपिक, आई कैन क्रिएट विद 5 minutes. अभी बैठ के पीछे आपको बता दूंगा तो यू विल से हाँ ये अच्छा है. तो थोड़ा उस तरह तो मैं नहीं कह सकता मैं, लेकिन जहाँ भी आप कहीं लिखो 5 वो बताओ. एक ऐसे बड़ी बनाओ, ऐसे बड़ी मतलब एक बुक बनाओ. जैसे मुझे कुछ अच्छा लगता था मैं उसको नोट करता था. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता था कोट करना, मतलब मेरे फ्रेंड्स परेशान रहते थे. मैं सीधी बात करने के बजाय जो है शायरी और ये सब शुरू कर देता था. बट इट्स आई थिंक वेरी गुड यार. कौन ऐसा दुनिया में आदमी है जिसको अलंकार नहीं पसंद है? कोई चीज़ अच्छी से सजी हो, मसाला हो, और डेजर्ट पे पुडिंग पे जो है वो किया हो, ड्रेसिंग किया हो उसकी. सो इट इज़ लाइक दैट, आइसिंग ऑन द केक सॉर्ट ऑफ. Okay, I'll hand over to sir.
Yeah, any more doubts? Pardon? I did not get you. Early preparation. Okay. So you want to start now? And it will look like 5-year plans, not required. You know, by 2019 UPSC will change the syllabus again. So not required now. Because UPSC has appointed a committee. The committee will be giving the recommendations. By 2019 definitely UPSC will change the syllabus again. So for 2-3 years you can sleep. You know. Next. Yeah. How to go about answers in the ethics paper? I think Shalini can answer. How to write answers in ethics?
Well, if you are talking about section A or case studies, people say usually you attempt case study first, then section A. But I've been like I started right from section A and starting from question 1 right to the end. Because I feel like section A is equally important, just like section B. And in section A, you have the kind of questions which you directly can't write. You just have to think. Sometimes they ask you to give examples from your own life, your personal experiences. What do you think? These kind of questions. So in these questions, you have to think. It takes time. So I have been, in all my 3 attempts, I have attempted section A first and then section B. In case studies, it's like, because already there is already some material, some base is there, so I find there a little bit of thinking, you can write the case studies, but section A requires more of thinking part, so I attempt section A first and then section B. In case studies, I mean, like you pick up the papers, you'll see that different types of case studies are there, like some related to administration, some are then like if you are given a particular, like if you are this person, then what would you do? So depending upon the case study, if they have given like 3 scenarios, which one you will choose, these kind of case studies, and then totally different case studies where just like the last 2 case studies in last paper, 25 marks each. So they were like, issue is there, now you give the solutions. So different, you adopt a different approach to these 2 different kind of case studies. In the one where you have to give the solutions, that would be kind of, it will be like you will be covering a lot of things in that, kind of essay thing, like social perspective is this. I mean, like you cover all the dimensions how much you can, because there is no restriction as such in that case study. In the ones where you have different scenarios, okay, they usually ask that what will be the pros and cons, something like this. So you write like that. I mean, usually I think that is the pattern. They give you the like 3 scenarios, one the extreme, another one another extreme, and one is the balanced view. That is usually how they take. Where, yeah, so in some questions they ask you specifically, and where they are not asking you like, that is the easier way to go. Okay, you one extreme view, the other, and the balanced one. Usually you take the balanced one. Okay, I'll do this also. I'll refer to the higher authorities also. So that's how you write it. I mean, like there are very few case studies where you can take the extreme views, because usually the case studies related to the administration. Administration is a slow process, we know. So you will write like that only. I'll inform the higher authorities, or I'll hold a gathering. I'll go for the negotiations. And some, if side by side, you can also write if there is some kind of anomaly or some complaint is to be made. I'll also do that. So I mean, like give a good perspective, overall perspective, that okay, all these dimensions are open and I'll do this also. At the same time, obviously you can do 4 5 things, so I'll do this also, that also. That's the way to proceed. Yeah, there have been certain codes also. You just don't go by, like, just read the statement and just, I mean, like in whatever perspective the person may have said, just leave it, just leave that thing, because you may not know that. Just explain the statement in simple words, what you understand from that, and maybe you substantiate that, supplement that with an example from your life or from the administration, from current affairs. So that you can do, because usually they are like, I think 10 markers. So just explain the statement and give an example. That is more than sufficient.
So continuing with the ethics part, I think Poonam also got good marks in ethics paper this year without studying much. So she can share her creative experiences, how she got those marks.
I would thank sir for it, because actually, to be very honest, I could devote ethics, and I'm being very honest here, some of would not agree to it, only 4 days. I could, and not to whole 4 days, like, 2 hours every day. So you can say I could have given 2 days, like if had I given. So I only refer to sir was gracious enough to lend me his class notes, Xeroxed copy. I took it from sir. I read this register, and touch wood, I've got a like quick learning, that reading speed. I could read 100 pages in 2 hours or so, like quickly I read. So I read those notes, and actually I focused more on the case studies. As Shalini ma'am also said that she attempted first section A, but I had a discussion with sir before the paper, and ethics was totally new to me in that time, because when I had prepared in exhaustive way about 5 years back, ethics were not the paper then. So it was a total new paper for me. So I heeded to Pavan sir advice, and I would also say that if somebody is going for ethics, then please refer to his case studies. I read about his 7-8 case studies were there in the notes, and I read them thoroughly, and I could make out mental picture. Also, I would say that, as sir has rightly said, this paper is more about common sense. So like there was a question, I think, in which we have to rescue people. There was one question in that, and there was like options given, and they specifically asked at whom you will rescue, in what order, and what are your reasons for it. Now, luckily I have been a part of administration for the last 5 years, and we do have these kind of, not this kind of situation, but at least every day you face some or the other situation. So generally, even, it's not about only writing in the paper. When you also, after becoming an administrator, you have to deal with real life problems every day. So you need to also put in common sense there. So I don't know what the right answer was, but I have been told by many of my, some of the friends, that there was one option of people who were in prisons, like will you rescue? There was an order given, and one option was also people who are like in hospitals, in who are trapped in prisons, and other option, ladies, old people. So I remember that while I read that question, in case of my order, I actually also put the people in prisons, like I think just on second or third number. Reason being that at that time I actually used common sense, that people who are trapped in prisons, though they are criminals, like but also but they are trapped that time. They are the responsibility of the administration. So generally, I don't know, but I really think that some people would have thought that these are the criminals, so they shouldn't be taken care of. But the issue here is, as an administrator, you need to think about at a common sense level, that people, the first priority should be given to the more vulnerable sections, that are ladies, that are old people, and there are people who are in hospitals who cannot, go on their own. And also equally vulnerable in this situation are the people who are in the prisons, because they have been locked by the government. Somebody has to take care of that. All I am saying by this example, I want to actually highlight the essence of common sense in your case studies, and also unfortunately, because of the same speed thing, I could cover case studies in about 2 hours, 2.5 to 2 hours 15 minutes, and my entire portion of the section A was left. And I still remember some questions in the later stages I haven't not even read till now, like section A. So that's why I've been keep on repeating that please do answer writing practice. Do try to write your case studies by your own hand. I was not able to do that because I was not having the luxury of time, but really do that. And I have not referred to any lexicon book, but I would say that instead of lexicon book, try to incorporate some kind of thinking process in your answer. Like while you are attempting a question, you should understand that what exactly the examiner is demanding from you, and what unique thing you can offer to the examiner. See, everybody is going to answer the case studies. Nobody is going to say no. Nobody is going to say that no, I will not take care of this thing. Like nobody, no, in ethics paper, nobody is going to say I'll take bribe. Nobody is going to say I'll do corruption. Well, what I mean to say, every one of us are going to put our positive points. But you have to also give him with your answers, you need to actually let them know about your own personality, and also some kind of honest thing. Like you cannot say no, I will straight away do this thing, मैं तो ये कर दूंगा, I'll be Dabang, I'll be James Bond, I'll do this thing. You need to understand that as an administrator, there are certain limitations to your role. So you need to give a balanced approach. So I would say focus on case studies, because that was in my case I did that. I think the problem which I couldn't do was I should have, had I written like 2-3 case studies, I expect that I would have been able to somehow more enhance it, but also focus on section A, but I think more focus on case studies, because पिछली बार 25 mark की 2 थी, तो वो बाद में कहीं, because thank God that I attempted them in the first place, because they were also long to read. They were so lengthy to read, and you have to understand it. More than attempting the question, no matter in ethics or in GS, you need to also understand the crux of the question. Like if every question is having its unique crux. The examiner is asking for something different is from the question. Normally what we read, there is something is from PubMed, we normally say, oh, this thinker name. So we try to show him our knowledge about that thinker. Please don't do so. Every question, for example, any thinker, Taylor, or if he is asking something about F.W. Taylor or something about Elliot May, I'm not remembering the names now, sorry, 5 years back, but any thinker, or let's say show, like Karl Marx, because I've just written this here. Let's say Karl Marx, any question if somebody is asking you from any thinker, so you don't have to put in all his theories, you need to understand what exactly he's asking it, but correlate from all his, whatever knowledge you're having, correlate with all this. So interlinkages, as said by esteemed other members also, that it is very important. So I think this will help you, but other some people over who are sitting over here, who are, I really hope people are not sailing in the same boat like me, as don't do that kind of preparation, but unfortunately I was not having the time. But अगर कोई ऐसा है तो उस time पे भी my only suggestion is that don't panic. This is the only mantra I actually had in mains. I knew my papers, I was मतलब मेरे 4-5 questions नहीं हो रहे हैं. I knew from the starting कि मेरे से लिखा ही जा रहा. Imagine after 5 years I was handling a pen, like in office normally you put your signatures, you don't write. So I was the only thing I was telling myself through every paper, while writing every paper, that be cool, be cool, be cool. Just write it, just think it, be common sensical. कई question polity paper, I think all of us know that polity paper was very out of वो बिल्कुल ये वैसे मेरे जैसे बच्चे के लिए तो बुरा हाल हो गया था कि ट्रेडिशनल से कुछ आया नहीं और सारा वो लेटेस्ट आ गया करंट अफेयर्स के जो, तो मैंने उसमें भी आई रिमेम्बर आई वाज टेलिंग माई सेल्फ कि इट्स ओके, नथिंग टू लूज, जस्ट राइट डाउन व्हाटएवर आई कैन विद कॉमन सेंसिकल, एंड टच वुड मतलब इतने बुरे उसमें नंबर नहीं आए. तो सो बट अगर ऐसा कोई सिचुएशन हो, अगर पैनिक मत करो बस पेपर में, दैट्स ऑल आई वांट टू से. नॉट इवन इन प्रीलिम्स, नॉट इवन इन मेंस, ट्राई टू बी कूल. I'm only taking another 2 minutes. I'm sharing you my own experience from my first attempt. In 2009, I gave my first attempt, and I still remember कि जो मैं शेयर भी करती हूँ कि हम लोगों को लगता था जब तैयारी करी थी मैंने शुरू कि भाई IAS ना कुछ और ही लोग होते हैं, मतलब पता नहीं कैसे होते हैं. And these people are somebody who are from different, maybe from different planet, या मतलब पता नहीं 10-10 साल पढ़ते हैं, कितना साल मतलब पढ़ना पड़ता है ये वो. तो दिस वॉज अनदर मेजर रीजन कि आई स्टार्टेड वेरी लेट, और जब मुझे लगा कि भाई अब तो एज वाइज वैसे अटेम्प्ट निकलेंगे तो बैठ जाओ पेपर में. तो पहले अटेम्प्ट में क्या था कि आई फोकस ऑन मोर ऑन प्री, और मेंस की ईमानदारी से बात बता रही हूँ कि मेरे साथ अनलकीली क्या हुआ, 2009 में सिलेबस चेंज हुआ. 2009 में टोटल यूपीएससी का सिलेबस चेंज हुआ. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर जीएस का पेपर आया, आई वाज इन द माय सेंटर वाज यूपीएससी, एंड जब पेपर आया जीएस का तो पहले पेपर एक पैटर्न अलग आता था जो कि बड़ा ट्रेडिशनल फोकस था. एकदम से पेपर आया टोटल डिफरेंट, तो मैं हेड डाउन करके बैठ गई 10 मिनट, और ये ईमानदारी से मैं आपको बता रही हूँ. उसके बाद मतलब हेड डाउन करके मैं बैठी हूँ, एग्जामिनर वो जो इन्विजिलेटर होते हैं वो आए, उन्होंने कहा क्या हुआ, मैंने कहा, और मैं इधर उधर देख रही हूँ तो पीपल आर राइटिंग लाइक दे मस्ट. सो आई वाज सेइंग कि पेपर तो निकल गया ना, मैं पेपर में बैठ के सोच रही हूँ पहला पेपर है कि अगले साल दूंगी, अब तो पेपर अब तो होना ही नहीं पेपर. एंड दैट टाइम ऑल्सो बाद में मुझे पता चला जब मार्कशीट, आई कुड क्लियर मेंस, मतलब 10 मिनट में हेड डाउन करके बैठी हूँ, 2 मिनट पानी पिया है, थोड़ा अपने आप को रिलैक्स करा है, उसके बाद मैंने पेपर लिखा है. उसके बावजूद मेरे मेंस का जब स्कोर आया, आई कुड क्लियर इट एंड आई गॉट रेलवेज इन दैट अटेम्प्ट. बट मैं ये बताना चाह रही हूँ कि जब वो जीएस का स्कोर मेरा आया मार्कशीट में, तो माई स्कोर वाज, मैंने देखा वो काफी हद तक बहुत अच्छा था एज कम्पेयर टू, जैसे कंपैरेटिव स्टडी करो तो वो बहुत अच्छा था. अगर मेरे को लगता है अब कि अगर मैं 15 मिनट नहीं बैठी होती तो शायद मतलब आई वुड हैव नॉट लॉस्ट दो 30-40 मार्क्स, और साथ में कॉन्फिडेंस भी. उसी तरीके से मतलब ऑल आई मीन ये सारी एक्सपीरियंस से बता रही हूँ कि आदमी ना फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में सोचता है कि ये सब बोल रहे हैं आके, ऐसे बोल रहे हैं, नहीं, इट इज अ फैक्ट, ऐसा होता है. हम लोग बड़े एंशियस होते हैं फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में, बट एज यू गो ऑन विद द प्रोसेस एंड एक्सपीरियंसेस, इट इज एक्चुअली द मंत्रा, बी कूल, बी पॉजिटिव. आप लोग ये मत सोचो कि मतलब इतना कंपटीशन है. जस्ट मेरे हर पेपर में ये सेटअप रहता है कि कितने नंबर चाहिए, मतलब कितने क्वेश्चन होने चाहिए जिससे पास हो जाएगा. डोंट थिंक अबाउट कि इतने बच्चे बैठ रहे हैं, डोंट थिंक अबाउट कि मतलब इतनी कट ऑफ जाएगी. जस्ट ये देखो कि 100 में से ना मतलब अच्छा ठीक है 125 नंबर मेरे को लाने हैं, अब मेरे को ये देखना है कि मेरे को 125 नंबर कैसे लाने हैं फॉर प्री people who are attempting, I'm telling you this focus. Don't go into that nonsense के यार इतना कट ऑफ जाएगा, इतने बच्चे, इतने लाख बच्चे बैठ रहे हैं, उन बच्चों ने ये प्रिपेयर कर लिया, ये कर लिया. नहीं, अपना उस पर फोकस रखो. सिमिलरली मेंस में ये फोकस रखो कि भैया मुझे एक बेसिक सा फंड डालो. आजकल की मार्कशीट देखोगे तो सो दैट्स व्हाट आई हैड अ डिस्कशन विद सर just 1 month before mains, November I remember. I had my son in September, till October I was on bed rest and November I started. और मैंने सर से यही बोला था, मैंने कहा सर मुझे ये बताओ मोटे मोटे कितने नंबर लाने हैं हर पेपर में. तो ये टोल में कि जीएस के 5 मतलब पेपर्स जो है उनमें 100 ले आओ, मतलब 100 और उसमें एसए में भी 100 योर टारगेट शुड बी एटलीस्ट 130 प्लस और सब्जेक्ट में 250 ले आओगे तो तुम टॉपर्स भी होगे, विच इज अगर हम देखें तो वो होता भी है. तो मेरा टारगेट आई जस्ट टोल्ड माय माइंड कि 100 नंबर लाना इतनी बड़ी बात नहीं है. नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, सिलेबस नहीं पढ़ रखा, जाके कुछ तो लिखूंगी, कुछ तो नंबर आएंगे. एंड मतलब सम हाउ माई मार्क्स इज नॉट उतने हाईएस्ट पे भी नहीं पहुंचे, बट एटलीस्ट आई एम सेटिस्फाइड द कंडीशंस आई गिव इट वाज गुड. तो अगर आप लोग 4 महीने भी इस साइकोलॉजी से चलेंगे, मतलब आई एम शेयरिंग विद यू इज दिस कि इस माइंडसेट से जाओ कि भैया इतना ज्यादा पंगे में मत पड़ो कि इतना कुछ होना है. सीधा सीधा जाओ कि इतने नंबर लेके आने हैं, इतने नंबर तो मिनिमम मुझे लाने ही लाने हैं. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, आई थिंक नेक्स्ट टाइम we'll be sitting here and you will be talking about your experiences. Thank you.
Yeah, any more doubts? Any more questions? Okay, then I hope that you have gained something out of this interaction, and I wish you all the best for your preparation. We can leave.